Good evening, glory. Hallelujah to ya. What's your story? What's going through ya? My name is Pat Renwick, and I'm the host of Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. This is the glorified version of a Bass and Talk show. Hello, Bass Galaxy. How are you tonight? How are you tonight? We are jacked up. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you best believe it. Honey, you best believe it. We are jacked up tonight because we got Greg Hackney coming on the show. We always get worked up when Hackney's coming on. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Greg Hackney. Man, all worked up. It's been a crazy week. And also tonight, for the first time ever, a new segment, all new, brand new, Polish Pete Przyspiora, that's a tongue twister, from Omnia Fishing, coming on to talk tackle, some tantalizing tackle talk with Pete from Omnia, Polish Pete. And that should be cool. We're going to talk tackle industry and what's going on. That's right after Hack. So that should be cool. The guy, speaking of cool, the cool sounds that you hear coming through your glorious earphones or your CPI system. What is a CPI system? I don't even know. But the producer extraordinaire of this thing, producing the snot out of this deal, he's a punk rock guy. He's red on the head like a producer should be. It's Andrew Ellenberger. He's a ginger ninja. Pichow. That's you. Pichow. Ginge, remember when we used to do the German thing from Saturday Night Live? What was that one called? It was like, I don't know what the name of those guys were. They always wore the black suits. You know what I'm saying.
Still have that sound.
That's a good one right there. Hey, Ginge, we got Hackney coming on tonight.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Pistol Pete, so it's going to be a fun night. But also a cool thing about Stray Cats is and I think most of the Bass Galaxy knows, Ginge, is you can win free stuff here every Wednesday night. And tonight, the good people at TH Marine, Shanna, Luke over there, 50 bones, a $50 gift certificate to thmarinesupplies.com. Courtesy of Greg Hackney as well. And TH Marine Supplies. Boom. Look at that. All you got to, you know how easy it is? You like and share the live Facebook feed. That's it. Like and share the live Facebook feed. But wait, that's not all likers and sharers. Oh, take it off of private.
Take it off.
Yes, take it off of private. Also, at the end of the show, tonight, we are going to give away a Stray Cast like and share pack. Ooh. And that is Dan Bravarni Swim Jigs, Andy. Yeah.
Oh,
you know Danny B. He's from West Wisconsin. You know that. There's some derbs in Wisconsin coming up. But the Dan Bravarni Swim Jigs, the one of the finest swim jigs in the land. And I like the purple Urkel. It's my favorite. They call that Andy. That color. But, hey, all you got to do is like and share the live Facebook feed. And you have the opportunity to win two things. One, a TH Marine $50 redemption code. Greg's going to announce that winner when he comes on. Hack Tech is. And also Bravarni Swim Jigs. So that's a pretty cool pack. Pretty cool pack there. Like and share. Hey, also, on Stray Cast, it's a good opportunity to feel good with the Tin Cup Whiskey Word of the Week. Yes, we ask you to please sip responsibly. And tonight, the word of the week, Ginge, it might get out of line. A lot of people were saying they're calling off tomorrow.
Well,
Did you see the messages?
I did. Let's get wild.
Yeah, people are calling off, so let's get wild. The word of the night is bait. Bait.
All right.
If I say bait, take a sip and sip responsibly, whether it be Tin Cup, Mountain, Bassin whiskey. Are there Bassin mountains, Andy?
I would assume
I don't know. If there is Bassin mountains?
The Ozarks.
Oh, the Ozark Mountains. Yeah, that's true. They launder money and catch bass.
That's true.
In the Ozark Mountains. But again, Tin Cup Whiskey, word of the week is bait. Thank you, Luke Foley and Tin Cup Whiskey, for your support of Stray Cats. Right there. Bait. If you hear us say bait, take a sip responsibly. There it is. Also, Ginge, moving right along. Business. Oh, no, the tin. What was the tin cup word of the week is what? Shaboopy?
Bait.
Oh, bait.
Bait.
Thanks. Oh,
I
there's
think
two
it was-
baits.
I
So if
think it
you're
was
keeping
bait.
if you're keeping track,
Yeah.
be careful. Be careful.
Good luck, everybody.
Hey, check this out. Ginge, you know what's not unusual?
Tom Jones.
To be loved by anyone. But you know what is unusual? To get 60% off on covers for your bass boat.
That's true.
Bass and boat covers. But hey, Ginger, don't stop there. Say you got a Lamborghini sitting around. You want to cover up the guinea? You know what I mean? EmpireCovers.com. Hey, say you got yourself one of them egg-shaped green grills or something that everybody's got.
Yeah.
They make it for that too. Hey, say you just got a little hibachi and you want to protect it. Protect it. Let's protect it. That was very Chicago. Hey, you want to protect that thing? Then all you got to do is go to EmpireCovers.com, put in code STRAY60, and you
Boom.
get 60% off. Seriously, 60% off of any cover on EmpireCovers.com. You got to be a silly person not to take advantage of that if you need a cover. Or even if you don't, just buy one and put it in the closet. EmpireCovers.com. I did nothing like the live read they wanted me to do, Ginge.
That's all right.
Okay. Moving right along, you know who I throw shade with, Ginge?
Amphibia.
Heck yeah, I do. Amphibia eye gear. Let me tell you what I like about Amphibia. As I get upper in ages and lower in maturity, I seem to get headaches from different types of shades. And the cool thing about Amphibia eye gear, we've been wearing them for what now, Ginge? 3 years here on the
3
Straight
years.
Cast Show?
Yep.
They don't give me headaches, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Amphibia Eye Gear, for your support of the Straight Cast Show. Outcast Tackle makes rod slicks. You gotta cover your rod. If you don't, you can get in trouble, Ginge.
Yeah.
Mama said cover it.
Protect it.
Yes. You know what I'm talking about? Empire covers and Outcast rod slicks. Keep it covered and keep it protected. Slicks rod covers from Outcast Tackle Company. Also, the makers of the Fighter Fly. And if you look right now, an Omnia tackle or Omnia fishing, there's Fighter Flyage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that black and purple?
Yeah, I saw you looking at that,
Yeah.
and I didn't even see you, but I saw you.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Ginge, moving right along, halfasspotofficial.com. This is Straycast month. Sign up. I already did the derb from the boat here in the north. Compete against me, kick my ass. It's all open. It's $10. Ginge is going to be doing one. Ryan, JP High, even coming out of retirement and going to do a derb from the bank. And here's the ultimate thing. It costs you $10, but you got a chance to win money. And ultimately, go fishing with guys like Mike Iconelli, Ish Monroe, Ben Milliken, the Ike Live crew, Stray Cast, over on Lake Gunnersville. So that's going to be a good time. Hey, moving right along, I know there's more business. I want to say a special congratulations, college champs, Hayden and Griffin. Congratulations to you guys on your victory. College champs. Yes, sir. Maybe we should do college bass and gone wild again. Remember that, Danny? Hey, the NPFL kicks off tomorrow. We got horses in the race. Crestliner teamy, Abu Berkeley teamy, Keith Carson. Wishing you the best of luck. And also our alpha angler Rodfather.
Yes.
Ginge, you see where he's at in that AOY?
He's kicking ass.
I know. That guy, man. He's something else. That's Jake Boone. And some Pistol Pete. Put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. This is the glorified version of a Bassin talk show. Ja! And I know karate sometimes.
This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man, and the mountain, and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain Whiskey.
Nobody wants to run out of power when they're on the water. There is a better way. Introducing the Charge Marine Power Management Station from PowerPole that does the work of 3 devices: a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system. PowerPole Charge.
You take pride in your boat, so it deserves the best protection possible. Our durable woven fabric prevents ripping and provides UV protection, and our tape seams provide protection against the elements. The heavy-duty shock cord hem and strap and buckle system provide a tight and secure fit. Our top-of-the-line boat covers come with a ventilation system to keep your boat free from mold buildup. Empire Covers, protecting what you love.
The TH Marine HydroWave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The HydroWave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The HydroWave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
Bite me! It's a command to the fish. Quality jig heads with quality components. With tried and true tackle like the Big Dude Goby head, the Hunter or Jacob head, or all new tackle like the Jackpot Net head or Buster Swim Bait head. Bite me! It's a command to the fish. Get the let out and visit BiteMeTackle.net today.
Minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bass Fishing Galaxy, we bring to you professional bass fishing B.A. Baracus. He's a badass. He's a TV star. He's an internet star. He's an author. He's graced a cereal box. Ladies and gentlemen, bass fishing superstar, Greg freaking Hackney, the Hack Attack right here. Welcome back to Stray Cast, Greg. How are you, bud? There you go. Uh-oh. Unmute yourself, Greg. If you can hear me, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. What's going on, Greg? How are you?
Yeah, man. It's great to be here. It's always a good time.
Heck yeah. I like your smile already, right off
Yeah.
the bat. Right off the bat.
Definitely the way you want to end your day.
Are you feeling good? You feeling a little stray casty tonight? You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I've been preparing for a whole week.
Okay, I like it. I like your style. I like your style, man. I think that before we go through, get into anything here, for those that don't know, let's just a quick education. You're a former TTA. Do you know what that is?
I do not, but it sounds good.
You like a little TTA in your past. You're a two-tour angler. I mean, at the same time. I mean, that's the sign of a badass right there.
I have been known to do that before.
I mean, that's when an angler seems to be like completely honed. You know what I mean? Like last week we had John Cox on, and what's the word? Anomaly? Is that the word?
Yeah, I mean, he's quadruple. He's quadruple touring right now.
So that's insane, right there. You are the Rookie of the Year 2004 at Bass. Very cool, very cool. Also, FLW AOY 2005, right? Keep chalking up the credentials. Forest Wood Cup Champ 2009. That was a tough derb. That was a tough one. AOY at Bass 2014, and you were a MILF champ in 2018. So that
may sound even better.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're doing good for yourself, Mr. Hackney. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, man?
That's funny.
Yeah, I want to. So we're getting the stats out of the way, right away. We usually, we probe Ronnie Moore for information. We probe. You know what I'm saying, Greg?
I mean, Ronnie's full of information now.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He is definitely a numbers guy.
He is, and I'm glad you said that, because here's some very interesting numbers, and you might not want to share these numbers with Julie, because I know that everybody likes to count pro bass fishermen's money. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean, Greg? You're always like, I mean, if you Google Greg Hackney, one of the things that comes up is Greg Hackney net worth.
I promise you, it's gross. It's not net.
All right, so get this. Here's a little fun fact for you. Okay. So this is your BASS credentials here as far as numbers. And this is to date, you've won $2,582,168, Greg. Okay? Not bad, bud. Not too bad. All right? And you have weighed in a total of 7,291 pounds of bass have gone through the BASS scales. Isn't that insane? Think about that.
Yeah, that's a
lot of LBs,
I've
bro.
been at it for a while.
That's a lot of pounds. Now get this. This is something that's either going to make you happy or it's going to piss you off next time you lose a fish. But each pound that you bring to the scales at a BASS tournament, you average $354 a pound.
That's awesome.
Dude. I mean, come on, bud.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what a pound of bass cost me.
$355.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We got the stats out of the way, Greg. But an amazing accomplishments in your career.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate.
Far.
I cannot say. I mean, I'm very, very happy with the way things have went for me.
Yeah, man. I mean, and you're having a good year. Okay. Let's call it a 2/3. You had a good year, I should say. Let's call it a 2/3 year. Okay. I mean, and no disrespect by that. I mean, like 2/3 of the derbs you did really well in. And
yeah, I did. I had some rough ones though that I can't really explain, but yeah, I did. I got started off really good, and it seemed like kind of in the middle was kind of a rough go for me, and then it picked back up slightly.
yeah, you had those couple 50s right in them 50 finishes, but he still finished 8th overall, Greg.
Yeah.
So now,
yeah, which is not a disaster. You know, anytime in the Elite Series, if you can have a top 10, if you top 10 in Angler of the Year, that's, because we're such competitors, you always want to do better. But day in and day out, if you can stay in that top 10 in Angler of the Year race every year, you're doing it.
pretty damn good rookie year, Greg. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is. It is. This is my rookie season back, so definitely not a disaster.
That's for sure. But man, I mean, just loved watching you, and obviously so happy that you're back on the blue and gold.
Yeah, me too.
At the Elite Series, and you could tell, man. I mean, you look great, Greg. By the way, I don't know what you're doing or what, but you look really good. You look healthy. You look happy. And do you feel your age?
Yeah, I will be honest with you about that. I feel like this year just kind of rejuvenated me.
Okay.
Like mentally, not necessarily physically, but I mean, yeah, I'm getting older. I mean, I have some aches and pains now, but I really enjoyed the season. You know what I mean? Like I really felt like I made the right decision of coming back, and I just truly I had a lot of fun. Now, again, there were some times when I was disappointed in my performance, but day in and day out, I sit back now and look at the year, now that it's done, and I'm like, you know what, it was a good year, and it's right where I needed to be, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, man, and we could tell on Bass Live and in the interviews that you did on Bassmaster.com, and you were in a good mood, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm just, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't really know how to explain this. I'm just like, everything is back. All the pieces to the puzzle are back together again, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's funny. You think, I've been like, so this is my 20th season as a professional angler. Like 20 years now, I've been doing this full time with nothing else.
Wow.
And, I was like,
no more log contracting for you.
Say that again.
No more log contracting for you after that.
No, well, you say that. Yeah, I may be fixing to do some of that here in the near future, but not as a profession, more as for fun now. But,
Greg the Lumberjack this fall.
Yeah,
on NBC.
but I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like my path in this whole fishing deal has been all over, and you have to follow this path. And now I feel like the road has gotten straight. Now we're just going to go straight on down the road.
You're home, man, because you're home.
Yeah.
There's no place like home.
No place like home. And I'm not, I can see my future now, if that makes sense. I couldn't see it. Now I can see it.
Good. You have the vision.
Yeah, I have the vision.
You have the vision. And obviously the vision is to continue to kick ass at the elites. I mean,
yeah, I look forward, I look forward here. I'm going to wait till it cools off just a bit, and then I'm headed to Hartwell for a week or so. And I look forward to just being back at the Bassmaster Classic, man. I can't, I'm like, wow. So I went to, I was at the Classic this year, of course, as
a spectator.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh,
Justin Atkins was calling me. Undoubtedly, he's not watching Straight Cast.
Yeah, what the heck is wrong with Justin?
What's wrong with Justin
I'm
Atkins?
texting him right now. I'm actually
text him and say, "Look, dude, we got something going on here."
Yeah, seriously, I am texting him.
Yeah, but I just, I was at the Classic this year, working, and just hanging out, and I thought, man, how great would it be if I could be at that Hartwell Classic next year, and I'm going to be there. And I just look forward to driving around the arena. You know what I mean? Just coming back in and doing that again. I really, the last couple of years, I've really missed that opportunity. And I'm going to try to make the most of my next opportunity because, the Classic's the deal. I don't know that I ever took it for granted, but, I don't know how many classics I got left, so I'm just going to try to make the most of every one I go to from here on out.
Yeah, just win every one you go to. You got some ground.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be happy with one. The next one. Just
Dude, think
knock
about
it. Out and be done with that.
Dude, let's think about this while you're talking about this. Whatever. Oh, that might be Justin Atkins right here. Hold on. Let's see. Atkins says, Hackney, tighten up. That's what he says. True story. I don't know if you can see it through the That's what it says. But dude, let's think about this, okay? It was the 94 Classic, right? Or what were you at? I'm going Rain Man here. I read about
84.
84.
Classic.
Gosh, okay, 84 Classic. Justin brain farted me there. But the 84 Classic, Arkansas River, Pine Bluff. You're there. The last day.
Totally changed my life.
Dude, I mean, insane. And think about that actual day 4 that you attended, how important that day was in bass fishing history. I mean, you had like 2 presidents on the stage. You had at that time, 3-time Classic champ. You had Mr. Ray Scott, Harold Sharp. You know, I mean, dude, that's bass history right there. And you're there as a little boy.
I'm there as a 10-year-old little boy that it just completely, I mean, I can remember it like it was yesterday. You know what I mean? Like I've never, I didn't know at the time, hey, we're going to the Bassmaster Classic, the final day weigh-in. And it is just, I knew from that point on, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, man.
And it's funny now we're having this conversation and I'm fixing to go, you know, I'm fishing in another classic next year at Artwood.
Right, you talked about the energy, and that reminded me of that story of you, the energy that you feel, like you talked about, yeah, I can't wait to just drive through the arena. And then, like, man, you must have really first experienced that energy at that Clun Classic in '84.
Yeah, it was incredible. It just completely, I just love to fish so much. And it was Clun, Clun set the all-time record, that day.
Yeah. What did he win by, like 26 pounds or something?
Yeah, and he caught 27. I really think he had his biggest bag the last day was like 27 and change.
Yeah.
And then of course Clinton is on the stage, George Bush is there, Ray Scott, and he won. So he either won 40 or 45,000. That I cannot remember, but I can remember, like in 1984, here was a guy that had been fishing for 3 days and won $40,000.
Yeah.
So here's a 10-year-old little boy in the deal going, this guy got paid 40 grand to go fishing. I'm like, this is the greatest. We live in the greatest country in the world.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. And I mean, I was all in from that point on. I mean, it's crazy to think about that, and here I am,
It's nuts, dude. And like, okay, and at that time, that's your neck of the woods. Like, that's your river. It's become Greg's River. It's actually, there's signs that say "Welcome to Greg's River" over there. But
I did go through a period of time where the lower part of the Arkansas River, I felt like I owned it.
I know. But I mean, did you ever, like, having that special experience at that classic, did you ever go out and like fish Clun stuff? And what was he using? What was the baits? He hit, like, I know he was cranking.
So he caught him on a 7/8 bomber, the first 2 days, and then the last day,
shad wrap.
He said the fish got used. He caught him on a shad wrap.
Shad wrap. That's right. Yep. And then he even was actually caught a few on a worm, I think, too. Like a couple.
But
fish.
most of them were all like on the first couple days were that with a 7/8 bomber,
silver and black bomber. Yep.
So funny story. So we attend the last day of the classic. I go home, whatever. And we didn't own a bomber. So my father was working at a place it was cutting timber in Fordyce, Arkansas. That's where his job was at the time. That's where he was working at. And he stopped at the Walmart in Fordyce, Arkansas on the way home and bought a Fire Tiger 7/8 bomber and a Tennessee shad, and those were the first 2 I ever saw. And the next weekend we were on the Arkansas River cranking jetties in the river with a
winding away, just winding. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just funny how fishing, I mean, tournament bass fishing drives fishermen. It's drove this industry, baits and rods and reels. And you know what? I still to this day, when a guy's winning tournaments on stuff and catching fish, you got to have it.
Here's something we got to remember.
Got to have it.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up, that a lot of things in the industry drive tackle sales. And we have Polish Pete from Omnia Tackle coming on later to talk tackle industry. But a lot of things in the fishing industry drive sales. But here's something that drives quality tackle sales, quality lure sales, is derb wins, Greg. When someone wins a tournament on a bait, we saw it happen to you. Look at, on a crankbait, a certain crankbait, somebody wins something on, boom, shelved. It's there. A plastic, shelved. Chatterbaits, shelved. All gone. Everything. You know what I mean? KVD 1.5s all the way back when they first come out. Remember how hard it was to get one of those? You were arm wrestling Kevin for them.
Right. Kevin did a good job of promoting. Yeah. Kevin is a heck of a promoter. I will be honest with you.
He sure is. I'll take a sip with you, Greg, right there.
Look, I noticed you got a tin cup.
I do have a tin cup right here. Here's to Kevin Van Darn right here. Not Kevin Van Dam, but to Kevin Van Darn.
I hear you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. So I know that you're a big Clun fan. Obviously, he shaped. He's the reason for the season, kind of, for you. And
the funny thing about that deal is about Clun. So think about this. Now, I've been a Clun fan since 1984. So in 1984 is when I learned who Rick Clun was. I'll be honest with you. Before that time,
right.
And sure. I have competed. Hey, so how about this? I finished second to my hero at the St. Johns River.
Yes, sir.
So I got to I felt the wrath of Clun since I was 10.
You thumbed you down.
So yeah. So just it's incredible that he still fishes now. You know what I mean? So think about this, the thought of this. So I'm 47 years old now.
Okay.
I was in that classic at 10, there at 10 when he won. I'm still competing with him today.
It's insane, dude. It's insane. You had an experience with River, didn't you? At one of the with Clun's son River, you were talking to him at one of the
it was when I finished second and he won.
Yeah.
At the St. John's. I don't know if that was maybe 17, 18. I can't remember now. What year that was, but it
17.
It wasn't his last win there. It was the one before.
Yes. And you were talking to his son River at the weigh-in or something. I remember reading about.
Telling him that same story that that we're talking about. How incredible that is that that he's still doing what he does. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. Like last year at Fork in the fall, when he's leading the first day with 30 pounds or whatever, and I'm on the sideline watching as a fan. I mean, it's incredible. This is the thing about Clun. Still to this day, when Clun is up there, that's the guy you root for.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Well, anglers do that.
He's the original. You know what I mean? Like he's that guy that never got any help, just went out and done his own thing, and just
he's OG proper bassin', 100%.
Yeah. I mean, he's a different breed. The sport has changed so much since, even since in my career, but he's still exactly the way he was his entire career.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I heard you say something once or read something that you said about Clun, Greg, and you said that you like the way he does things. I thought that was a cool quote that you said.
Yeah, well, I just feel like the deal, he just does everything right in the way he, from the way his mannerisms to on the water to the way he thinks, he's, I'll be honest with you, he's the guy I've emulated the most or wanted to my entire career.
I can tell.
I've just had more respect for him than not that I don't respect a lot of guys, but he's top of the list.
Yeah, when you're,
because I just feel like he's done everything the way that I feel like, in my opinion, he does everything the way that things should be done.
He's the definition of a bass fisherman, of a bassing man.
No doubt. And this is the deal. He was the greatest of all time. He was voted the greatest of all time. Well, there's a reason for that. He is truly the greatest of all times. And there, because the sport has evolved so much and changed, and the way things go today, there'll never be another Rick Clunn. You know what I mean? Like, there'll never be there's no one coming up that can do that, or, that'll be that or whatever. So it's, you know what I mean? He's an anomaly.
He's so smooth. That's the smoothest guy ever. Like, I don't know if you saw it, Greg, but if you haven't, go on his Insta account from just yesterday or the other day.
I do. Yeah.
You see that he went in the shed and just manhandled a big old black snake. I mean, just man.
I did get tickled about that deal. And
he just handled
it. I was impressed that they have a snake that big in Missouri.
Yeah, bro. That was a man-eater. That was a mamba.
It was a big snake. I was like
mamba.
Pretty shocked when he rolls into the chicken coop and there's a 6-footer crawling around in there.
And he handled it, Hackney. He just handled it, bro. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Hey, Greg, I want to remind everybody watching right now that the good people at TH Marine Supplies are giving away a $50 redemption code. All you got to do is like and share this live Facebook feed, take it off a private, and before Greg gets done here, we're going to announce the winner of the $50 code. Compliments TH Marine Supply. What do you think of that?
Yeah,
Greg?
they got a bunch of sales going on right now. That's the cool thing about TH Marine is that they have pretty much every bling for that your boat needs. Your boat, if it doesn't need any more than what they have. They pretty much have it, every bell and whistle for your boat.
So here's what's happened. It's kind of like it's almost like now when you have to put stuff on your boat, like if you don't have, like, say the hub, the G-Force hub, then you feel like, oh man, I need that G-Force hub. I gotta have that. I gotta get that thing. Or if you don't have the nice cushiony thing for the trolling motor pedal that looks like the Eddie Van Halen guitar. You know what I'm talking about. You had one of those, Greg.
Yeah, but the main thing you gotta have that they have is an Atlas.
Oh, dude, that changed my life for real.
Yeah,
Atlas jack plate,
no doubt.
Life-changing deal. Yesterday, I was fishing with an old boy. Actually, the guy that was the cool guy at the tackle store when I was a kid. He was like Kelly from the Bad News Bears. He was the badass in town, And he connected through the Stray Cast show, and I took the guy fishing yesterday, and we were in some shallow stuff, and we idled quite a bit to get back there, and there wasn't nothing happening. And I'm like, nah, we're not idling out of this. Put that Atlas up. Right out, bud. Put it on 6. Out. Done. 20. Boom. Done. Love it. You're right. Best deal ever is the Atlas jag plate. Life changer.
Yeah. And the people who don't have one are like, well, how much would you use a hydraulic jack plate? And I'm like, every time you sit down.
Yeah.
I mean, you manipulate your load for if you got 2 people, live wells full, you jack it up, you jack it down. We're gas mileage. And again, with gas prices, I guess are going back to $4 a gallon, looks like whatever. I mean, It just makes you more efficient. And, that's the whole thing about tournament fishing in general, that everything we do from tackle, whatever makes you the most efficient. You got 8 hours to get paid. You know what I mean? And so you got a short period of time and 9 weeks out of the year, and you got to make the most out of every minute, and all that stuff just really helps. Yeah,
100%. Any little thing, especially, if you're paying your bills with bass fishing, Greg, you need everything to your advantage you can have, man. There's no doubt about it. Hey, let's do a little exercise. All right, a little mental exercise. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Let's see. It's just so it's kind of like what this is it's comfort versus rage. All right. So I know it's kind of an extreme to the other. And you'll get it. You'll get it as I go along here, Craig. But
so I got the perfect personality for this because I can go to comfort to rage in like a split
like
second.
You're 0 to red. I know. That's why I developed this new segment just for you. This is the comfort to rage segment. Now let me give you an example. I ask you what is a comfort food and what is a food that makes you rage? Like, here's an example. For me, I love when, like, my mom makes a good old-fashioned beef stroganoff. You know, the old family recipe. But here's something, like, that'll, you know, like, make me rage would be, like, something real spicy. You know, when I love it when it's going down, but afterwards, I hate it. So I want to know for you, I mean, you could give me that example. Like, what's a comfort food for you and what's a food that just doesn't agree with you? Rages you up.
Oh, wow. So I was thinking that one that would rage me in a positive manner.
White Castles?
Yeah, so like gumbo here would be in the wintertime as a comfort food.
Yeah,
you know, like
okay.
when it's cold, it's really, you know, but like something that would rage me would be hot wings, man, but not in a negative way, in a positive. I love hot wings.
Makes your eyes all big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta just suck those frosty beverages down, you know, to keep that burn away.
Gotcha. You know? Gotcha. Okay. I ask you this about a bait, a lure. What's a comfort lure? You know, when you have this lure in your hand, you feel comfortable. But
yeah, probably like a rodent, a Strike King rodent.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere and everywhere. It catches them everywhere and anywhere.
And what's
it's probably my biggest comfort lure.
And what's something that's a bait that you have in your hand and it kind of makes you mad when you have to fish it. Not that you're bad at it, or just maybe it's too much work, you know? Like, what's a bait that I know you're efficient in.
A Ned rig? Yeah, like 100% would make me rage to have to throw that. Like, I'll be honest with you, you told me that all of next year, like you said, next year, you have to fish every event with a Ned rig. I might quit. I might literally quit over that if I had to throw that all the time.
Drive you bonkers.
Like, I mean, like, I'll be honest with you, when I pick it up, I'm like, I'm fixing to lose my street creds over this, dude. Put that down. I can't fish with that. Or if I do fish with it, I just put it down when somebody runs by. I mean, it's that bad. I'm like, when I look at it, I'm like, it looks like a parasite.
Oh,
you know, like something you've been in some nasty water and you like, what is that? You plucked it off your side.
Little pieces of goose turd.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it does. It looks like a goose turd on the dock. You know, and you're walking down the dock in the morning trying to get to your boat and they've been all over it and you're trying to walk around it.
So can you give us the Greg Hackney Ned rig tip of the week?
Don't throw it.
Okay.
Just man up and don't.
Hey, what's a song that makes you nice and relaxed? And then how about a song that just makes you want to rage and freaking pound the steering wheel and bang your head?
Oh, wow. Man, there's a bunch of songs out there now that make me want to bang my head. Music has changed much like the fishing industry. You know, not necessarily for the best. You know what I mean? Like,
come on, give me an answer. You can go classic. I don't care. It's something to rage to and something to calm you down.
Hey, so like, I will be honest with you. Like right now, I'm a big Whiskey Myers fan.
Oh, okay,
I've
yeah.
Really gotten into that late, dude. I mean, it's badass. I'm not lying. They are rocking it now.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm really disappointed that it's taken me a while to find them because they are. I mean, but like, or something that. Oh man, like any of these little old girl bands, you know, I have two teenage daughters, well, not one teenage daughter and one 10-year-old, and they can absolutely sing everything on the radio.
Oh, it drives you
I'm
bonkers.
Like, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of half of these people now that are on the radio, but I'm like,
my kid would walk
just
around.
Start changing channels, and they just start singing to whatever comes on.
They know it
it's
all.
Incredible. They know every song on every radio station, whatever genre it is. It doesn't even matter.
That's insane. Nuts. But you got to have a favorite band right now. What's the band? You still into Pearl Jam?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You like
So this is the deal about Whiskey Myers. It goes back to that. Like, to me, they are modern day Leonard Skinner.
Oh, I like that analogy. Absolutely.
think?
Very good. I think, yeah,
Like
you
a
kind of nailed it.
CCR, you know what I mean? Like a CCR, they just seem like a modern version of that.
I like them too. You know who else is really cool, Greg? If you haven't heard any of it, our bud Billy Strings. Have you heard any of his stuff?
No, but I will
Check him out on Insta, Billy Strings.
Yeah,
you'll love it.
I will do that.
Yeah, he's a bluegrass picker, but he adds a lot of flavor to things. You'll see a lot of people onto him right now. It's good. You'll enjoy it on the road, believe me. It's good driving music a lot of times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I'm a big fan of alternative music in general. I like the new. Because I grew up in the 90s. The 90s were, Pearl Jam. Oasis. There were a lot of, it was the alternative time.
I'm glad you
Nirvana.
said that because, I might as well just let you know now. At the end of the segment with you, we're going to actually write an alternative song together, you and I.
No.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I usually do this kind of stuff with Zona, but I'm going to do it with you this time. So.
Yeah.
Zona wants to do a Ned Rig show with you, by the way.
Yeah. He's kind of like, he swings both ways. You know what I mean?
I would like you to explain that.
He has that whole Ned Rig side. It's hard for me to go over there anymore. It probably this is a funny thing. My versatility, I'm not saying that my versatility level is less than what it once was, but it has gotten to be a less of that side of me. You know what I mean? I will tell you this, I've caught several key fish this year. This year you can't get away from a spinning rod. There's no way around it. And I don't care if you fish locally or professionally or whatever.
Right.
I've had 2 or 3 on my deck all year long. I do know that you can't get away from
That's your sensitive side of your deck.
Yeah, it's that sensitive side. But
Yes,
it's a
sir.
3-rod side. You know what I mean? The power side is like a 7 or 8-rod side.
No, I get
and the
you.
sensitive side is like a 3-rod side. But man, I don't know the deal with the Ned Rig is if I'm not using a heavy enough head or what the deal. I've caught a handful of fish on it this year, but I've not weighed any in, but I'm still learning that deal. And then I have that one side of me that's fighting this don't learn that. Just stay away from it.
Andy, send him some Bass University Ned Rig links, would you please? And so Greg can watch these.
I see, what I watch, and I'm a huge fishing fan. I watch every tournament trail, if anybody's tournament's going on, I'm watching their live when we're not fishing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because there's always something to learn. That's the cool thing about fishing. It's every day, but man, and I see so many guys shelling them on that thing, but I just don't like it. I like a shaky head. I like a drop shot. I spent a little time throwing that hair jig this year. I'm kind of on the fence with it too, but that Ned Rig, I don't know.
This has been a public service announcement by Greg Hackney on the Ned Rig.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like I need to be vaccinated against it. You know what I mean? Keep it away from me. It's time for my booster shot. I need to stay away from that. I don't know. I don't know. It's just certain things. I can't embrace it yet. Not saying that I won't. I just have not yet.
Oh, goodness. All right, let's go back to comfort and rage. All right, you're in a rage right now over damn Ned Rig, so let's get comfortable. Who's a person that makes you comfortable? Who's your comfort person? Obviously Julie, but besides that, who's a person in bassing that makes you feel comfortable? How's that?
Honestly, probably Zona, dude.
Okay.
When I'm around him and I are real, you know what I mean? I'm good in my skin.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Be yourself.
When him and I hang out, we just chill.
No scruples.
Yeah. No
Whatever that
scruples,
means.
just
I don't.
chill.
It's just a cool word. Yeah. I gotcha. Okay. I gotcha. And who's a person that maybe you're around and they maybe make you want to rage? You know, maybe like, not that you don't like them, but like maybe they bring out the competitor in you or somebody that like maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some people I can't name on this show. I got a whole list. So I better not name anybody. That's probably wouldn't go over well. I probably shouldn't.
I'm
we'll
talking
be
to
filming that Man on Fire segment here in a minute.
y'all Denzel on them.
Yeah. I keep sucking on this tin cup, and we can do the Man on Fire segment. I have to be real careful. I will tell you that is something that goes with age, and it's called a filter. So the older you get, the filter just starts to go away. So I have to be really, really careful.
I am going to rephrase the question. Are you ready? So, in other words, you have a reputation in bass fishing as an intimidating individual to your competitors. Okay, you do, whether you know it or not. Whatever, Greg. Don't give me that look. You got your competitors look at you as a badass and a fierce competitor. Okay. Is there a competitor that you feel is in the Elite Series now that is somebody that maybe you're a little, maybe you know what I mean? Like maybe you feel that way about them.
Yeah, I hate to say this, and it doesn't matter what tournament trail it is. I'm not intimidated by anybody with a fishing pole.
I like it.
I'm sorry. I don't want to come over arrogant and saying that, but I don't fear anybody with a fishing pole.
And I'm not going to kid you. That's the answer I was looking for.
There's just one of those things that I feel like that I'm equal to everybody in, and that's fishing. I just don't have any fear of anybody.
I love it. I love that. I love that you said that, man. I think it's great. I think it's great, man. Because the people that live in fear, fish in fear, do whatever in fear are not successful.
It's that whole deal, that filter coming off. It's come completely off. I just don't care. And it also may be some of this tin cup too that I'm pouring down me. That might be some of this,
Yeah. I see
it's like a security blanket.
I see your muscles growing too, as the whiskey muscles are going. Oh man, that's freaking awesome. Hey, quite a few W's under your belt over the years, Greg. And
but a lot more close calls.
Yeah, you got a lot of seconds, man. I think like 9 or 10 of them, bro. You're like Aaron almost, like our bud Aaron. Jeez, a lot of seconds. But let me put it this way to you. We always talk about just kind of briefly mention or maybe get into to the wins that a lot of the anglers that come on the show have had, but I want to go a little different angle on this, and I'm going to go over your major BAS, or not BASS, but there's a mixture of wins in here. And I kind of want to know through progression of time, this is a little tackle talk. So I kind of want to know the baits you were using for these wins and the combos. You don't have to necessarily get brand specific back in the day, but you could tell me types of rods and things like that. You know what I mean? I want to get to the progression of the Hackney tackle, or if there is any. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at here. Okay? So the first win that I want to go with, let's go all the way. Or not actually, this is a third place win. I'm going way back to a third place win. 1995, Milford Lake, the Archie Trail Redman. Third place.
I caught those fish on a spinning rod. Yeah, it was Millwood. Yeah, I caught them in a place. I caught those fish. They were spawning. I caught them in a place called Bagley Slough.
Bagley Slough, old Jim Bagley Slough. And you think you'd have been throwing a balsa B3 or something cool, but now you got a spinning rod in hand.
The funny thing about that, caught every one of those fish on a spinning rod and a weightless worm.
Isn't it funny?
And there were like 20 other competitors in there with me, and I give them a beating.
Is that before you learned how to use casting tackle?
No, then? I still use. So that same rod and reel setup and same worm played a factor at the St. John's tournament earlier this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's one of those deals that will never go away.
And what is that setup? Like, what's the spinning rod setup For
basically a 610.
Okay.
And this is going to be a weird thing about it, but I use mono so you can throw it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't use fluorocarbon on it deal. It's a real shallow deal. Like I don't never do it unless it's 3 foot or less.
Okay. And you're throwing.
And it's just a small Texas rigged worm. I'm not going to go into details because everybody's got to have some secrets. But it is a very small Texas rigged worm, not wacky rig.
Is it a Texas rigged Ned rig?
No. It's
okay.
but the funny thing about it is it's not much longer than a Ned. I can't get the deal about the Ned. I don't know why that bothers me like it does.
It does. I can tell. I know. And the first thing we talk about,
like nothing.
And you came in third place in one of your first checks you ever cashed on a weightless Ned rig, and you won't even admit it.
So I've been throwing a Ned rig since '95.
Table Rock, 2005.
Caught all those on a shaky head. How about this? You pulling up all the spinning rod derbies. How about that? So
I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. So every same rod and reel, 610 medium spinning rod, 8-pound fluorocarbon in that deal, 1/8 ounce head, 4-inch watermelon worm.
Okay. Now
shaky head, caught every one. I did catch. I will tell you this: on the second day of the tournament, the wind blew and it was kind of rainy, and I caught a couple good ones on a wiggle wart.
Okay, so you got away from the sensitive side of the deck, and you picked up the man.
But other than that, every fish I weighed in, with the exception of those 2, I caught on the wiggle wart. Okay. I caught on the shaky head in that event.
And is this 610 spinning rod that you use? I know you've developed a line of rods.
Yeah, I got one. I'll be honest with you. Now I have that exact same rod at Academy.
Awesome. Okay.
The Hack Attack all-purpose spinning rod.
Is that pretty much what you're always using from your spinning application?
It is for those, for the majority of those techniques, it is the rod I use.
Andy,
now I will tell you this: I drop shot with Zona's signature series.
Ooh.
Yeah, I do like his signature series. His signature series is actually a little softer, and but on that Texas rig and either mono or straight fluorocarbon, I like my all-purpose rod because it's a little bit stiffer, and you just get that hook in.
Gotcha. Andy's ordering us up one.
I use the braid and the leader, like on a drop shot, on that hair jig, and and a wacky worm, but there's still a couple techniques that I still love. 8-pound fluorocarbon and a shaky head. I mean, that's just, and it's probably one of those deals because it worked for me so long, I just couldn't change.
Yeah, I have it. Andy pulled it up and sent me. We're going to order one for ourselves, but the description is Greg's Ned rig rod. What
Yeah, I don't think there's anything on there that says anything.
That's what Andy sent.
That rod was developed. If I even knew what a Ned rig was.
Rayburn 2006.
Caught all those fish on a Strike King Zero.
Yeah, bud.
Weightless.
On the man tackle.
Texas rig, 16-pound gamma fluorocarbon.
Yeah, bud. Flipping it in them, wasn't them bushes and that.
Yeah,
that
so
super skinny.
Kind of that same deal. Those fish were trying to spawn. The water was extremely shallow. I don't think I caught a fish that week over 3 foot deep. What's funny about that is it wasn't like I was fishing the bank. There wasn't any water. I couldn't cast to 3 foot of water from where I was catching those fish.
Wow.
Those fish were it was the back of that area is really, really flat. And those fish had just pushed, they were spawning way up in I boiled mud the entire time. There was no deep water close,
Wow.
It was the latter part of the spawn too, that's one of those deals where early on in the spawn, you typically still need to be around some deeper water, but that was late enough in the spawn. It seems like as long as those fish have enough water to cover their backs, they go.
Man, I remember, Greg, I have pretty much every Bassmaster on VHS. And I have Tupperware or whatever you call those containers, Rubbermaid containers full of them. And right now I'm going in my memory and I'm seeing you. It's one of the first times I remember an angler getting bleeped on television. And it was just a very natural reaction, but you set the hook and it seemed like the line went through the ring or something. And I'm thinking it was on I don't know if it was on a spinning rod or or it went. So in other words,
That wasn't at Rayburn.
what that? Well, no, I can't. I'm not. I don't know where it was. I'm asking. Like it was. The hook wasn't welded. The hook eye wasn't welded.
Oh yeah, that cost me Angler of the Year my rookie season at 2000. That was at Santee Cooper.
Gotcha.
The deal was it was the final day of the tournament, and I had to finish 8th to win Angler of the Year. Now I won Rookie of the Year that year, and but I had to finish 8th, and that was my first bite. And I was flipping trees with a jig, cypress trees, and that was back in the day. They didn't. Because like braid was still not new because, braid been around forever, but it was still kind of new to guys using it.
Sure.
And that jig's eye wasn't sealed. And I would take those. That wasn't the first time that had happened, but I had taken honestly, the night before, it was a brand new jig. I had taken the pliers and I would crimp it tight so it wouldn't. And, I flipped in on that tree and that fish is a 5-pounder, slacked the line. Ooh. And I set the hook and thought the line broke and the knot came out of the eye. Because that braid just mashed. It was 50-pound braid and it mashed flat. And I never forget this. That jig had a rattle in it. And that fish jumped while I'm retying another jig on. That fish jumped. And every time he would jump by the boat, I could hear that rattle shaking.
Oh, haunting.
And anyway, I finished ninth. Long story short, I finished 9th. And Swindle, Gerald won his first Angler of the Year title. And I finished 2nd.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 points.
Sorry to bring that up. It's just something that popped in my mind.
No big deal. I'll be honest with you. That was a bad deal that day or whatever. But like in the big scheme of things, because I'm such a goal-oriented person, that was not bad for my career.
No.
It was not bad for me personally because, I don't know. I can look back on that and go, you know what? Yeah, I could have just as easily catch that fish and won the Angler of the Year my rookie season, but I don't know if that would have been the best thing for me.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does.
Because there's so much drive behind it because I got so close and it didn't happen. And so it's the funny thing about that is that year I finished second to Shinfu Kai in Angler of the Year on the FLW tour and second to Swindle on the Bassmaster tour in the same year.
Unreal.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever done. I mean, I finished second in both major tournament trails, Angler of the Year race in both tours that year. So it wasn't a wash, I mean, I still.
How did you feel at the time though? Did you like it?
I was crushed. I'll be honest with you. I remember talking to Davey Height after, he was behind the stage and maybe Davey had won Angler of the Year before and he was going to give the trophy to whoever. I can't remember that. I can't remember that part, but I remember Davey being behind the stage and I was crushed. Now, emotionally, I was crushed over it. But then, after you got some time, I had some time to clear my mind over it or whatever. I got to thinking about it and I was like, I don't know. It probably wouldn't have been good for me personally to have won that then. Yeah, financially it would have been good, of course. But like at that point in my career, I probably didn't need to win it then because I needed that hunger. You know what I mean? To keep me going.
Absolutely. I admire the self-awareness.
And it's funny. So that year I was second in both tours. The next year I was 4th in Bassmaster points and won the FLW Angler of the Year the next year.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, things work out. I do believe that in the way our path is already, or maybe we have multiple paths and it's the one that we pick, but things just kind of work out like they're supposed to for a reason.
100%, dude. One of the things that Jerry McInnes said to me that I repeat myself on this a million times, but he always said, Pat, things always happen for a reason. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that was like just wise old man stuff, but yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. You just said it right there. Greg, let's talk about the Three Rivers win, your Forest Wood Cup champion win. that Three Rivers was a tough animal.
It's funny. It really was, but mentally I was prepared. It really helped me. So I was in the classic. I made the classic there that Van Dam won and zeroed the first 2 days of that classic. Never caught a keeper. And I remember I was fishing on the Ohio River and I had caught, it's funny, I caught a couple 2.5 pounders practicing pre-fishing for that classic that Van Dam won. And so my deal was, in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go there and fish for keepers. I don't need to catch a limit every day to win. I just need to get 2 or 3 of those bites. So that's the way I went into that Bassmaster Classic. So having that experience before I even went and practiced for the FLW championship there, my mind totally changed. I said, you need to catch keepers. You do not worry about catching a big one. You just try to figure out how to get as many keeper bites as you can. That's the deal.
Keep the ball.
And so mentally, I was just like, having that past experience there in the Classic, I just rolled in there, and all I done was I just tried to figure out ways that I could catch, literally 12-inch keepers. And I mean, that was the deal. And by figuring out how to catch those, while I was catching those keepers, I mixed some big ones in, and I caught some big ones when it counted. And the last day of that tournament, I caught 9 keepers. It was the best day I had. Like, it was the best day of fishing I had as far as numbers. I caught a bigger bag on the third day, but on the second day, excuse me. But the last day I caught, and I'll never forget this, I lost a 2-pounder the last day of the tournament. And I just knew in my mind I was going to finish second.
Wow.
I had a 2-pounder. I caught a limit, and I had a 2-pound smallmouth. I caught all smallmouth. And I had a 2-pounder, but I lost a 2-pounder on a jerkbait. And I was like, that will cost me from winning. I was devastated about it. I remember riding back in the truck to the Coliseum to weigh in, and camera guys in there filming me or whatever. And I'm just like, man, I've blown. This would have been the greatest opportunity. I was so close to winning the Forest Wood Cup. And I was like, so I don't know exactly what everybody's got, but I think I thought Iconelli was going to win. So when he weighs in, and I'd already weighed in, and he doesn't pass me, that's when it hit me, because I knew all the Rusty didn't. Rusty, who won last year, won the FLW Pro Tour Championship last year, was leading going into the last day. And I heard rumor, that he had a bad day. So he was the last guy to weigh in. And I was like,
okay.
I'm fixing to win this deal. And that is still to this day. I mean, it's either the Bassmaster Angler of the Year or the Forest Wood Cup are the biggest, are by far and I don't know which one it is there, but they were both so great that I don't know which one is the greatest one to me, because they both mean so much.
Well, win a classic and then weigh them. Now win the
that's what I need. I need a classic, and then, honestly, for me, at the point in my career, a classic win is just, I built the cake. We just need the icing, and the classic win would be the icing on the cake.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So.
I got you. Hey, tell me about the baits.
If it's in my cards, it's in my cards.
I want to know about. I can't remember what you were using in Pittsburgh. What was the baits and stuff? What was going on there?
Man, so I caught them on I used 2 different spinner baits. One of them is actually a crappie spinner bait that Strike King made.
Okay.
That was it was their crappie spinner bait. And then I used a little 1/4 ounce Pro Model spinner bait, an 1/8 ounce Strike King buzz bait, a 3-inch Cinco wacky rig, and bait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I did. I'll tell you this. I caught several fish on a tiny scrounger with a 3-inch fluke style bait on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was. So I'll be honest with you. Before I went there, I was totally in on all that stuff. Like I remember putting that box together before that, but again, because I had that knowledge from being there before in the classic, I knew, I knew exactly, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to fish for bites. That was the deal. I was going to find areas that I could get bites in.
And it paid off. It paid off.
And it did.
Hey, let's talk about Cayuga in 14. Cayuga. The win, the baits. What was the deal?
Caught I would start every morning there with a 1 ounce hack attack jig, peanut butter bug with a June bug rage crawl when it was dark early. and then I went to a 1 ounce blue crawl hack attack jig with a blue green pumpkin sapphire rage crawl on the back, and I caught every fish I weighed in there on that jig.
That was Cayuga?
Yeah, that was at Cayuga.
And it wasn't like Texoma, the same deal?
Yeah, Texoma I was flipping bushes. At Cayuga I caught them out of that cabbage. Like the majority, I would, when the sun would get up later in the day, I would flip milfoil. But all those schools of fish where I caught all those big ones at were out like they were 18 to 22 foot in scattered patches of cabbage.
Gotcha. Okay.
Was the deal there. There wasn't a lot of those fish. They were just all big.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They weren't like big schools of fish. I think 2 days out of the 4, I had 9 bites.
Wow.
You know,
okay.
I know the last day I caught 9 bites, and I think the second day I had 9 bites. The second day and the last day were the 2 biggest bags. I had like 23 pounds both days, the second and the last day, 23 and change. And those were the days I got 9 bites. I mean, I wasn't getting many. But again, too, like the first day, you know, I'd get off of them. You know what I mean? They were all 4 to 6 pounders, so I'd catch a limit and just quit.
And
you know, not quit, but I would go to other areas, and then I would flip milfoil and run other isolated places. But yeah, I caught all those fish just definitely the way I like to fish.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you know, I've won 2 Bassmasters that way. I caught them at Ouachita when I won my first Open. This is my first Bassmaster win. I caught them there the same way on a big jig, ounce. Actually, there I caught them on an 1 3/8 ounce jig. They were deeper. Wow. They were like 23 foot. You know, they were in hydrilla.
Holy cow! Now, when you were not, and then the win on Texoma 16, you were flipping the big jig, but in the bush.
Yeah,
same jig, right?
I was flipping. I caught those fish up. Those fish were in like 8 to 10. They were suspended. The deal was they were not that deep. They were only down like 3 or 4 feet. They were in like 9 feet of water, but they wanted that really fast. But again, that jig doesn't fall that fast. You know, like I can rig up a rodent on a 1/2 ounce slip sinker and it falls faster than a 1 ounce jig.
Right.
You know,
of the shape.
You know, even average, like people are like, oh my gosh, a 1 ounce jig. But a 1 ounce jig, I spent a lot of time fishing in my pool at home.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I watch I go through, I flip everything I got. You know, I watch it and see how everything falls, how trailers, you know, how changing trailers will make the jig. Now in that deal, I flipped a rodent on the back of my jig. And the reason was those fish wanted a big bait, but they wanted that fast rate of fall. And so I got away from the rage crawl because I needed that jig to blow through those bushes.
Gotcha.
And so that was the reason I put I actually, in practice for that thing, I flipped that Strike King slither rig.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of guys were throwing that punch type rig at that event.
Yeah, you know, the deal is with it, it's you can fish a lot faster with it. You never have to worry about, you know, that jig, like when you work that jig back up through those bushes. But the reason I went to the jig during the tournament was so it would slow me down and make me fish a little more thorough. And because with that slither rig, you could just go real fast. And I did that practice and I shake those fish off. And I'll be honest with you, the hookup ratio on a jig, nothing beats it. You know, when you're flipping a jig, you like, if you get 10 bites, you know, you catch 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah.
Where if you're flipping a Texas rig, if I'd have stayed with that slither rig in those bushes, yeah, I'd have still probably got those 10 bites, but maybe I only catch 6, you know?
I noticed.
And so that's a lot of reason. A lot of times I have so much confidence in a jig when they bite it because you just catch every one of them.
You're damn good.
You occasionally miss one on anything, but you catch more jig fish. Like a jig is so efficient. Like when they're biting a jig, I can't explain it. A Texas rig fold, you know, something about that weight folding on that hook, you just gonna miss some.
I get it.
If I can get them on that jig, I'm just gonna catch them all.
I 100% get it. And I noticed when you're flipping that jig, whether it's the heavyweight one, a regular one, even just rodents by themselves on Texas rigs, you do that color switch up a lot. You go from that brownishy, pumpkiny green thing into that blacky blue thing, or vice versa. You know, I see you doing that a lot. You kind of
I typically always, regardless of what they're eating or whatever, when it's dark in the morning. So I can tell you this. It's a funny thing about jig fishing, but jig fishing in the morning in the dark is almost the best time to throw one. Like when you start thinking about a topwater bite, like, oh man, early in the mornings, a topwater bite, that's also the best jig bite of the day.
Wow.
And it is. I mean, I catch them in the dark on the jig in big ones.
Okay.
Like I can't, it's just a good time to throw it. And I just typically always, regardless of water clarity or whatever, always start with a darker jig in the morning. Now, like, so the deal is if the water, like at Cayuga, I threw that peanut butter bug because that's a good clear water color anyway in low light, but it's still dark.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
It's brown and purple with that June bug trailer. It's still dark, but it wasn't as dark as say black and blue.
Right.
I didn't want it to be, that water was just gin clear. And, but a lot of times that's what I do. I'll flip a black and blue one in the morning. Actually at Texoma, because that water was green, I like a blue jig in that green water. And so on those cloudy days or cloudy mornings and early in the morning, I threw a blue sapphire rodent on a basically electric blue hack attack jig.
I love flipping blue. It makes me feel cool when I'm flipping an all
it is
blue
cool.
jig. You know what I mean?
You know, it just flat catches them.
Yeah.
So blue is a huge color here at my house too. And but in that green water, like that pea green looking water, and that's the way Texoma was. Now, when the sun got high, I went, I caught them on Alabama crawl, but just the more bluegill color because that's what they were eating. But early in the morning, I just had a lot of confidence. I could see that blue jig good, and I caught several big ones during the tournament. Low light. That was one of those deals. I can tell you this from past experience. When you get on flipping fish, don't do anything else.
Okay.
Like that, I saw guys in that deal that were catching them flipping that the last day they buzz baited and frogged and done whatever.
Yeah,
else.
100%.
But I can tell you this, I don't care if it's cloudy and rainy or whatever. To me, some of the best flipping days, go back and look at the third day at the St. John's when it was pouring down rain.
Yep.
And I shelled them flipping.
You did.
Because they will go to the bottom when it's like that. And, I see a lot of guys, change when it's, but I like to flip in bad weather.
Okay.
Like to me, it's one of the easiest days to catch them flipping is when the weather's bad like that. So.
Interesting that you said that. Okay, I like it. So that rain, especially obviously shallow water, it's going to drive them down.
Yeah, just sucks them down.
And you knock them on the head, they're going to eat it.
Knock them on the head and they bite.
Yeah.
But again, it kind of goes back to that low light deal. Like early in the morning, some of the best jig bites I've ever had come be right off. And it doesn't matter if it's cold weather, warm weather, or whatever. But I like a jig in the dark, early on in the day. Not to say, there are some situations, of course, where I need to be throwing a topwater bait or whatever. But if I'm around flipping fish, I typically start on them flipping.
I like that you said that if you're catching them flipping, stay flipping.
Stay flipping. And that was really the deal in that tournament. Well, both of those, Cayuga, all the tournaments I've won flipping have been that way. It's that deal. I'm dialed into that deal. I locked it in, and I started flipping in the morning. And also those tournaments are all the same way that are deals where I wasn't getting a lot of bites. So it wasn't like I was getting, I could get 4 or 5 bites doing this and then start flipping. If I flipped for 8 hours, I was going to get 8 or 9 bites on a good day. All those tournaments were exactly that same way. So I needed to spend as much time as possible doing it because I was only going to get 8 or 9 bites.
And you knew, and you stuck to it.
Yeah.
Boom. Sabine River, 18, the last BASS victory. That was a cool one.
Yeah, it really, it really was. That
Yeah.
was a great tournament. And that's, to me, that was kind of like the Three Rivers in that I just did everything right. You know what I mean? Like all my bait selection, whatever, when I got by the right piece of cover to be cranking or buzz baiting or frogging, I just felt like I really flowed that weekend. That I caught those fish that week on a bunch of different baits, from swimming a jig to buzz baiting.
All your comfort stuff, though.
Flipping. Yeah, it was all, and I like fishing in the hot weather. The cool thing about that was we don't get many opportunities to fish in my part of the country when it's hot, but yet I grew up fishing that way and never get to do that anymore. Because we typically, we fish in the South in the spring, and then we move north, and we never get to fish in that heat. And that's honestly is one of my, that's a bread and butter. So, the Sabine this year, they had talked about moving it to August because they had shut down Texas for the deal. And I'll be honest with you, I was pretty pumped. I would like to be at the Sabine River in August. I'm just used to fishing, you know, in that hot weather. I grew up fishing that way. You know, all of our tournaments were in the summertime when it was 100 degrees, but that tournament just kind of just fell right. Everything fell right. We've been there a couple times. I knew quite a bit about it, and I just, you know, flowed and rotated right. And I just got to do stuff I like to do. I got to throw a big square bill on some wood and throw a clacking buzz bait and frog. And
yeah, right there, man. I seen you skipping that buzz bait around, throwing that wooden square bill when you could. And wait, what is the wood? Can you just tell us what the wood square bill is that you throw? What's the secret square bill? Just tell us.
Oh, it's not really any. I mean, there's a bunch of them. It's just a homemade deal. There's a bunch of them out there. It's basically just an original B3.
Okay.
It's just an exact copy of the B3s I grew up throwing as
the 3 size or the 2 size. You have the bait you're looking.
The 3 size.
The 3 size.
The one I threw at the Sabine was a 3 size.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Got more confidence in a 3 size.
That's the Clun one.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the big one.
I hear you, bud. Hey, I want to talk about your competitors, and I want to talk about historic bass fishing figures as well. And what I'm going to ask you is basically, this is another exercise. We exercise a lot here on Straight Cast, Greg. They're mental exercises, you see. And when I give you an angler's or a bait, I'm going to give you a specific bait, and I would like you to associate a present Elite Series angler with that bait or technique, and then I would like you to associate a historical angler with that bait or technique, and you're allowed to use yourself in an answer once. Okay? The first bait I'd like to talk to you about, speaking of the crankbait, an Elite Series angler who is efficient in cranking, and also a historic cranker. When you think of a crankbait angler, who do you think of?
Keith Combs.
Keith Combs. Okay, I gotcha. And he's a current competitor. Keith Combs is a cranker. Cranker.
He's a cranker.
And who is a historic cranker? Like if you close your eyes and you think of a crankbait fisherman, who is that fisherman? All-time bassin'.
David Fritz.
David Fritz. Good answer. Man, he designs a plug. Heck of a plug, too, don't he?
And he is a current elite angler also.
Yeah, I know. How ironic. And you could have said Clun. That would have
I could have. And I did. I'll be honest with you. It could have been Paul Elias. It could have been Mark Davis. It could have been Kevin Van Dam. There's a lot of good crankers out there. A lot of good
crankers, 100%.
Old school crankers, you know.
How about a spinnerbait guy? Historical?
Clun.
Spinnerbait. I like you said that. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Heck yeah. Right from his
even Clun says that I know you've heard him say this, that he's won so much money on a crankbait, but a spinnerbait is his favorite.
It is, man. And he gets happy when he talks about spinnerbaits. Yeah. He really does still. He does. And I think his first classic win was on the spinnerbait. Made a weed wader, something like that.
His last Bassmaster win was on spinnerbait.
100% it was. Yeah, 100% it was. He ain't afraid to burn a bait. You know what I mean?
He is not.
Hey, you want to start a new podcast and we'll just call it Clun Talks? And we'll just talk about Clun the whole time?
We'll just have to get the Zen working.
Yeah. Spinnerbait fisherman Rick Clun, historic. And I guess you're going to give him for the answer on the Elite Series right now as well. That's who you think of.
I would think as of right now, I'm trying to think of anybody. I have noticed a little resurgence of a spinnerbait. Have you noticed that?
100% I have. Absolutely. Yeah. 100% I have. Hey, who's a deep water guy? When you think of deep, historically and now on the Elite Series, or both, who's an outside guy?
Honestly, Klein was probably one of the original deep water guys like that, that I watched growing up.
Rick Clun?
No.
Klein.
Klein.
Oh, Gary Klein.
Gary Klein.
Gotcha. Okay, I did not think
Won
that
I
of him.
remember he won a deal at Bull Shoals, like doodling in like 60 feet of water. That was a West Coast deal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he
right.
was doodling a little worm.
Those Westy worms and that dumb
Yeah,
shit. Yeah,
the whole deal was the top brass tackle.
yeah.
He had the brass weight and all deal, and
I remember. Yeah,
that was kind of a I mean, Aaron Martins is the greatest deep water fisherman of my time.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That guy.
And so this is the whole deal with a lot of guys that are coming along now. They just emulating the guys that were there before them. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah.
There are a bunch of great deep water fishermen now with electronics and whatever, but they're just emulating the guys that I'm calling out guys that were original.
OGs.
Yeah. That were original deep water guys back when they were using flashers.
Yeah. People were afraid to go outside, and these guys were catching them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were still on the bank flipping
Right.
1 ounce. No, I get it. It's comfort zone.
Now then, I probably didn't have bigger than a half. A half ounce was a big one.
Hey, you think of finesse flipping or finesse fishing? Who's the guy? Historically and on the Elite Series right now. 2 anglers or 1 angler? Pick one.
I mean, golly, there's just so many good finesse fishermen now. You know what I mean? Like so many guys. I mean, John Cox is a finesse fisherman. You know what I mean? I'm like, for real, like
he is.
He does a majority of his damage with a wacky worm.
He really does.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
of Takumi right now. When I think of finesse, I think of Takumi right now. Takumi Ito. Takumi.
Taku time?
Yeah, taco time.
Taku time. Yeah,
Yes.
he's pretty. Yeah.
I think of him as finesse.
Well, this is the deal, though. He can catch them deep with it, but can he catch them shallow with it? We don't know. I don't know. I've not seen him.
Good point. Point taken.
But he definitely catches the smallmouth on it. Well, and he caught a giant bag when we were at Fork on a roadbed or something like one day, like a 30-pound bag.
He did.
With like 4-pound test or whatever. It's awesome though. But that clip of him talking time, I'm like, that was an awesome.
I know. What an event.
Right there.
What an event.
It really was crazy.
We had him on the show right after that with his hero, Seth Fighter, too. And it went really cool.
That's awesome.
Hey, let's relax now. Let's just relax and just talk about things. You want to do that? Just relax even more. Let's relax even more. Why are you're turning upside down? What happened, Greg? Oh, there you are. Are you tuning in and tuning out?
No, people are chatting and I'm scrolling them off the screen.
Hey, if you could pick any type of restaurant to go to right now, me and you, and go sit down. Like, you want to go to a fancy place, you want to go to a saloon, where you want to go hang out? Where you want to go?
Dude, I'm all about that saloon.
All right, Ginge, you want to take us to a saloon? Hop on in. Ginge is driving. He's designated. You're in no shape. All right.
Yeah, I'm all about a saloon now.
Here we are. We're sitting in the saloon, Greg. Let's just talk about bassing and life. What do you think? What do you think?
Sounds good.
Hey, go ahead. Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Hey, you know how I ask a lot of professional anglers this because it's very there's a lot of situations in life where we deal with lost love, and one of the biggest lost loves for me, speaking of baits, is an old Bagley Balsa B3 in a YP color, a yellow perch color. It's kind of like the 09 Chartreuse Blackback, but it's a little more yellowish to it, a little more yeller. And that Balsa B3 just went everywhere, Greg. It went it was just a beautiful bait, and it caught him. And I lost it, and I was crushed. Like, it went in the current and just disappeared, and it was gone. I still dream about it. What's your bait? What's a bait that haunts you?
Honestly, probably that's probably the only thing that you can't get anymore. It's funny that I used to buy those things and I'd buy 2 of the same color.
Yeah.
And like there was a place in Crossett, Arkansas, where I grew up at called Jim Sportabouts. It's not even there anymore, and he had walls of Bagleys. of the one, you have the right ones. And why I didn't buy them all, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. You know, it's funny because you were like, there'll always be plenty. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure, you think that
I'll
way.
just go in and buy 2 chartreuse and black ones. Or actually, there was another one that was chartreuse back with pearl sides was actually my favorite. And
Really? Chartreuse
Yeah.
back, pearl sides.
yeah,
I know the bait.
I got some of those made now and that.
Look at you.
But I always thought there'd be plenty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I would have cases of them had I known that they were going away. And you know, it's a funny thing about that. Those baits have changed over and over. I don't know what they're like now, but I'm sure they're fine. But they've just changed over time. You know what I mean? Like they just.
Something about the magic of the old school. There's no doubt about it, man. There's no doubt.
But you know, even then, you know, that's the only drawback to wooden baits in general. You'd have to go through 5 or 6 of them to get one that was right.
Yeah, you get some that
because
just
no
skid.
2 pieces of wood are the same. So, you know, that's really what made the plastic baits eventually take over, because this is the deal. If I fire that KVD 1.5 out there and get it hung and break it off, I've got 10 more in my box that do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I do.
They're true out of the box. And so that was the only bad thing about a piece of wood. Or you'd fish with it and catch enough fish on it, and all of a sudden you throw it out there and reel it in and it slides.
Yeah, I hate that when it does that skid.
And you know it's over.
Oh, it's sad. It's a sad
over.
moment.
And then you look at it and you go, man, but it still looks good.
That's when it goes on the shelf, Greg. Tweak.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, who was your first paid sponsor? First paying sponsor.
I think it was Wave Worm.
Oh yeah, the tiki worm. I remember the
Yeah,
commercials.
the tiki worm. Yeah. I think maybe they were. So I signed them and G Loomis at about the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even remember the commercial. You had a Hackney Wave Tiki Worm commercial, man.
Yeah, we did that. It was crazy. Those were good. Those were great guys. And then they just kind of went away. I don't know where they're at now, but they were good dudes. They were into Stan Grzinski was in that deal.
Okay.
Helped them start that.
Gotcha. And now what year was that?
Oh wow.
I know, that's like way back, bro. That's Bassmaster block on Saturday mornings on ESPN.
Oh no, it's way farther past than that. It was like 99 or 2000. It was just about the time I started. I just started, basically becoming a professional. It might have been, yeah. It had to be around 2000, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it was like I just started.
The old Wave Tiki Worm.
Wave Tiki Worm.
Yeah,
I caught lots of fish on them, and then they just went away.
That crazy native, like he was almost like a Greg Hackney type guy, like when you're raging. He was bouncing around the screen. Kind of like you a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, does the Hackney family have any home remedies? Give me a Hackney family home remedy. Why you?
I don't guess we really have. I have some. I have some home remedies, but I don't. You know what? I probably should discuss some.
Oh, well, think of something in a way to say it. Come on, you can't do that. Tell us a home remedy, a Louisiana Cajun remedy.
It's pretty much works anywhere. I've tried it out in places like Wisconsin and Michigan. It works everywhere.
Seems to be foolproof, huh? Okay, so you're not answering that one. Hey, what's your favorite type of grass?
You just keep going on and on, don't you? Hydrilla is probably my favorite.
Hydrilla. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I like the MILFs. That's my fave. But Hydrilla,
Yeah, I like that Hydrilla because it's crispy.
Yeah, I got you. And I can tell when you're in Florida, you enjoy that nice fresh Drilla.
Yeah, I do.
There's no doubt about it. Hey,
I probably grew up fishing more coontail though.
Did you? I was fishing some of that yesterday.
It's like a poor man's Hydrilla. It's crispy. It doesn't grow quite as deep.
It's a poor man's Hydrilla. It's amazing. Hey, you were talking before like that if if bass called you up and you were forced to fish a Ned rig, you might retire. But let's say they called you up and said, hey, everybody has to fish shallow now. Okay? And you're like, oh, okay. Well, I'm buying that. I'm cool with that. But now they say to you, Greg, you can only flip or you can only wind. What are you picking? Flipping or winding?
Honestly, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to go with winding.
Yeah. For the covering water factor.
Yeah, day in and day out, winding is the deal.
Yeah, it's just go ahead.
And I'll be honest with you, I probably like to wind as much as I do flip.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
me too, man. And it's just that confidence factor that when you're casting well and you're making lots of casts that eventually the odds are in your favor. It's just going to happen.
Right. You're going to run into them.
And then sometimes we beat ourselves up. At least I do. And I'm probably you guys as professionals too. If I'm like an hour and a half or so flipping or something, and gosh, even less than that, and it's just not happening right away. I'm like, I got to cover water. That's like the first thing. I got to cover water. I don't know. Do you relate or not relate?
Yeah, I probably spend, it's funny, but I spend the majority of my practices winding. Very seldom ever in practice do I fish slow. Or maybe I do only like enough to get a bite, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, because a lot of times I'll be catching them winding and I'll be like, let me just check them with a piece of plastic or something and get a bite and then just keep rolling. And the main deal is just because we don't have very much time, you roll up to a giant body of water and you got basically 2.5 days to break it down. You don't really have time to slow down really. You know what I mean? Like, so you're just always blowing and going, and the easiest way to do that's winding. And then the other deal, this is the deal with winding. It's so much more efficient. If they're biting and you can catch them that way, you can catch them so much faster.
Yeah. And it's much more efficient as far as speed, 100%. Boom, wind. But I mean, if obviously I've seen you on a flip bite where you're
out of necessity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I'm just forced to fish that way because I feel like it's the most efficient. Like that's typically, I think all guys do that, or the way I think is that whatever makes me the most efficient,
Yeah, I got
And I don't like to leave any, that's the other deal. I'm like, well, if I fish slow, maybe I'll catch them all. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know.
Burn them up.
I mean, I had good tournaments this year winding. I had good tournaments this year, fishing slow. That's kind of the way the whole deal goes. And you fish so many places, you can never get locked into one thing. You can be one dimensional. If you do that, you'll have 2 good tournaments a year. And then the other, 8, you finish at the bottom of the pack.
Yeah. Kind of,
that's kind of the way it is. You have to do everything except for Ned rig.
Well, you talked about the Ned rig. You talked about fear and having no fear as an angler. So I got to ask you right now, at this point in your bass fishing career, does Godzilla have anything on you still or no?
So I've yet to watch the movie King Kong versus Godzilla. I watched the previews the other night. I am fixing to watch that.
So I gotta ask you this respectfully. You've been on this show a bunch of times, Greg. You used to do my radio show back in the day. We've known each other for quite a bit, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and I say this most respectfully. There was a time when sometimes I'd ask you about that Godzilla thing, and you really didn't want to talk about it. Like, why? Well,
I don't know. The deal is I can't watch that clip.
Okay, why?
I don't know. Yeah, it went over well. It could have been a disaster. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I don't know where that came from because, I've definitely come out of my shell since those days.
Yeah.
But I don't know where that came from that day.
Dude, we fell in love with the Greg Hackney, the bass fisherman, that they were like, that's a bassin' man. That's a freaking bassin' man.
Yeah, I was jacked up. I thought I was going to win. I think that was the other deal because – so the funny thing, a story about that deal quickly, that, we were fishing that Megabucks format and that hole the day before, when I'd rotated through, I was hole 5. And when I rotated through it the day before, I never caught one out of it.
Okay.
and I made that adjustment in that hole, and before I caught that big one, I remember I got broke off over a rock, cut my line, and then I caught like 2 3-pounders and a 4-pounder, and then caught that big one. So you got to understand, there was something leading up to that big one. Like I just caught that big one and got jacked up.
Right.
I had just caught 3 good ones, broke one off and caught 3 more good ones before that big one.
It was a build
So
up.
I was dialed in. You know what I mean? So
You're
I
on
was
another
feeling
planet, dude. You were on
I
another
was
freaking
feeling
planet.
my oats. You know, I had a lot of momentum going before I caught that big one, and when I caught it, I was like, "It's over."
Yeah.
You know, and I guess the emotions got away from me.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know where. Now I will tell you. Now, growing up, I had a 3-foot plastic Godzilla as a kid.
Me
I was
too.
very familiar with Godzilla.
Is it the one that shot the fist? You remember the one you push the button?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I loved it. I had the same thing, Greg. It had the detachable tail. You could hide shit in there. It had the flame. That came out. You push the thing on the back of its neck, and the giant flame came out of its mouth.
Yeah.
Had the same damn Godzilla, and I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Godzilla back when Godzilla was some guy in a plastic alligator suit. You know what I mean? Like,
and Godzuki versus
stomping
Mothra.
on all these little kid houses.
And he didn't have shit on you. Like you're like,
right.
yeah. But I mean, a classic moment in bass fishing history, whether you
Godzilla
like it or
has
not.
evolved. Now, I might have a little more issue with him today. In today's time, he has evolved.
CGI's a
quite
bitch.
the adversary.
Yeah. Hey, what's the coolest weapon you own? Like, do you have a backpack flamethrower? I could see you with that. Like, are you allowed to have that or no?
No, probably the coolest thing I own, I have a really cool double barrel.
Oh, I like that.
Short.
Okay.
Like short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a legal short?
I don't know if it's that short. I wouldn't go so far as on national, on straight cast to say I own something illegal, but.
Is it under your seat right now in your truck?
It's just perfect for close encounters.
I want a backpack flamethrower so bad. I don't know why.
Yeah, I probably, it's another one of those deals. It's like there's some things out there I don't need. I might want them, but it's probably best that I don't own them.
Fighter and Robertson won't even let me have a gun. They say I don't pay attention enough. They're all doing gun stuff, and I'm hanging out and not doing gun stuff because I can't have guns. Not that I have a felony or anything. I have a clean record.
Right.
I mean, that's all. I just can't. I'll start thinking about something else, and then I got a gun in my hand. So that's just, it's just not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good. Hey, I ask you this every time you're on the show. What grinds your gears right now in bass fishing? What grinds your gears? What kind of gets under your skin a little, besides an Ed rig?
Practice. Guys wanting practice.
What do you mean?
Like there are a lot of guys out there that want to practice too much.
Huh. That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm like, what if you're a professional, what do you need all that practice for?
I'm not sure where this is coming from. Like,
yeah, well, I'm not going to go in depth on that deal, but there's a lot of guys out there that feel like they need a lot of practice.
Okay. I got you.
You know,
yeah.
I don't like that.
What's the ideal amount of time?
I think at the elite level that you shouldn't, so this is the deal. I don't care if you're a rookie or you've been around forever. Once you make it to that level, you got to put your big boy pants on and you don't need to practice.
How many days you get?
You don't need to practice over what they already allow.
In Greg Hackney's Bassin World, how many days of practice do you get?
2 days.
2 days.
That's plenty.
And let's go.
You've not pre-fit. You don't get to pre-fish. You show it with 2 days and fish. And I don't care if it's a lake you've been to 1,000 times or a lake you've never been to before. It's the same on everyone.
And what's the cutoff period for fishing the lake? In your
when
eyes?
they announce it.
When they announce it. Gotcha.
When they announce it, it goes off limits.
Off limits. No.
If you want to go fishing with somebody, go somewhere else.
Okay. Gotcha.
You don't go there.
Okay.
You're a professional.
I agree, bro.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I do. I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing that I hear a lot of grumbling, not everybody for sure, but there's a group that feels like they need to practice forever.
Hey, when you were, let them. Hey, when you were a kid, Greg, let's go way back, before the Clun Classic, before that time, and you were talking about fear, okay? What were you afraid of as a kid, Greg?
Jaws.
Jaws.
That movie scarred me.
Dude, me too. That and The Omen. That freaking movie.
But I'd watch Jaws now and go, how was I afraid of that plastic shark?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, I'm like, I was afraid to go in the water.
So dude, me too. And let me tell you something. We were vacationing in Florida, and my parents took me to see that movie. And the irony of it is, in Jaws 1, there was a kid that got eaten on the beach, and he had a blue and yellow raft, a little blue and yellow raft. If you ever watched,
floated up on the beach afterwards.
My dad bought me that raft at the store that day. I didn't go by a puddle in the parking lot after we got out of that damn movie theater.
Hey, but didn't the deal was the shark got the dog first, the black lab. Yeah. Remember the guy was throwing, and then he's going up and down the beach, calling the dog's name, and the dog didn't come back.
I know.
And then he got the kid.
Yeah.
He was a hungry shark.
That shark was a jerk. Oh, unreal. And then
but it ruined me in the water. And then I watch that now, and I'm like, it's still one of the great. It's a classic. I mean, it's one of the greatest. Like just the things that went on, and it's still one of the greatest movies of all time. But how was I afraid of that?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I
get it.
Now the shark shows out there are for real. You know what I mean? We got freaking a 2,000-pound shark blowing a seal 30 foot out of the water. You know what I mean? We got some real shark videos now.
Yeah, I mean, but still, a shark was real, and you were afraid of that. Like, a lot of kids my age were afraid of, quicksand. You know what I mean? I like quicksand. Ain't gonna get me. The damn shark's gonna eat me. You guys don't worry about quicksand. I'll get out of that. Saw that happen.
Yeah, but I guess I was big into monster movies in general growing up, and so that would be the things I was afraid, things that didn't exist.
Nice.
Well, maybe. And maybe now they do. I don't know.
Sam Squanches are everywhere. We know that. We know that. You liked monster movies as a kid. Did you like the old black and white ones? Did you like the old No,
more of the one less than another black and white movie, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Dude, love the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the mask. I had the movie quality mask. I got it for Christmas. Yeah. You and I are like best buds already today on this episode. I still have all this stuff. Ginger has my whole Star Wars collection over there at the did you have Star Wars action figures?
I have them all. I have the Millennium Falcon.
Hey, you're the man. You are something else, Hackney. You are something.
I was big into Star Wars, G.I. Joe. I have all the G.I. Joe figures.
You are freaking amazing. Yeah. Hey, let's go back to some bassin for a minute. Last time you were on the show, you were with Denny Brower and Jason Christie, and Denny referred to Jason as a coot, his spirit animal as a coot. And the reason I bring this up is, Jason didn't like that. He didn't like it. He didn't even return my text the next day. But now we're cool. He's been on the show again since. But anyway, the whole thing I bring that up is because in nature and in bass fishing, nature gives us signs, I should say, in bass fishing. And one of those signs is a bird. Watching birds is a good way to find fish, right, Greg?
Right.
Give me another clue in nature that might be a little sneak. Like something you might see that clues you in nature to what a bass is doing. Think about it. You got birds showing you bait. Are there any other animals that show you things on the water?
The bird is hard to beat because you got so many different kinds, from seagulls to blue herring to loons, that just kind of key you in on the bait. They don't key you in on the bass. They just key you in on the bait deal. But as far as any other animals that really do that, there's really no other animal that does that.
Like I've heard certain kinds of animals
I hate to see an otter go under a mat or, down a stretch where I'm fishing at because, I know he's hunting the same thing I am.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
But like, yeah, I don't know, like offhand, and I pay attention to everything. I can't really think of any other animal that,
I've heard certain river rodents show you good grass, and I've also heard that certain alligators.
Yeah, coots. But again, that goes back to a bird. If you see coots matted up someplace, there's grass there. Because they're grass eaters. But again, that just goes back to birds.
How about gators in a mat? I got a buddy that says every time you see a gator in a mat, you catch fish.
Well, I can show him thousands of mats around my house that got alligators in them that he won't get a bite out of. So that's not always true. Because I can take you right down here to the Blind River, and the alligators outnumber the bass. So.
Hey, what can make bass fishing more exciting? Even more dangerous? What could add an element of danger to professional bass fishing?
Dangerous?
Sure, why not?
Smaller boats and bigger motors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going Evel Knievel on them. Okay.
Yeah, think about going back to like a 17-foot boat with a 350 Pro XS on the back of it.
Just scooting.
With the group of people that we have today, I promise you, it will be more dangerous.
Would Lisa
hey, let's
approve
go
that?
back to a shotgun start.
Yes. Okay.
That's all we got to do. We don't have to go to bigger boats and motors. Just go back to the original shotgun start.
Could you imagine?
You cannot. You talking about? I'd love to have the video of that.
Wow.
Like with today's boats.
Yes.
And all 100 of the elite guys taking off at one time, because nobody's going to give an inch.
No.
You know what I mean?
No way.
Nobody is giving an inch.
Everyone's flexing. There ain't nobody letting anybody in.
Yeah, I guess there's like several things we can do to make it more dangerous, but just going back to a shotgun start would,
Okay. So that's danger. What can make, that would obviously make it more exciting as well, but
make it exciting too.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's right there. Just have to increase your insurance policies. That's all. That's easy. You can just do that. That's right there. I like it. Shotgun starts, Greg. Unreal, man. Hey, at this, I got to ask you this. There's a lot of crap going on in the world. You and I were talking earlier. And if you had a solution, Greg Hackney's solution for world peace, what is it? What's your solution?
Oh, that I don't have a solution for that. There is no solution.
Okay. There's no solution.
You have too many people pulling in opposite directions, and everybody's way is the right way. If everybody said they were wrong, that would probably help. But everybody's right.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Everybody's way is the right way, and your way is the wrong way. So if everybody just admitted that everybody was wrong, that would probably be the first step in that direction.
I liked it. So if people could just practice a little freaking humility.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? But that's the biggest issue we have right now. Everybody's way is the right way, and nobody's way is the wrong way.
Nobody wants to budge, man.
Yeah.
And you see it everywhere. You see it in politics. You see it in bassing. You see it
everything.
Hollywood, everywhere.
It's a crazy world, man, right now. There are things that have went on in my lifetime. I guess I was naive growing up that I would have never, it's crazy.
Dude, it's nuts. Like, we were worried about 3-foot Godzillas with cool fists that shot.
Yeah.
Now it's, what the hell is this?
Yeah. I just see a video of 20,000 people hanging on an airplane on the wheels. You know what I mean?
Hey, Ginge, go. Did you say something, Andy? I don't know if your mic's on. Oh, I thought Andy was trying to get through. I'm sorry.
Crazy times.
It is absolutely nuts. Hey, Greg, I got to ask you this. With that being said, the last thing I'm really gonna ask you here before we get out of here is what could you do to make bass fishing, competitive bass fishing, better? What could you do to make competitive bass fishing better? Like if there was a rule you could change or or, you know, before we asked you about, you know, the danger element, but what could you do to improve it? What would be Hackney's solution to improve something in professional bass fishing? Anything. It could be anything. Pick any topic and improve it.
Man, you know, that's a hard question.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
That is a hard question. I mean, there's a lot of little things, you know, but like far as a major thing that, you know, probably the biggest thing we need to do is, and this is not a bad thing what we're doing. We need to go to newer places.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, and it doesn't have anything to do with the anglers. It has to do with the general public getting an opportunity to see professional bass fishing.
It's an outstanding answer.
You know what I mean? We just need to move around. There's so much of you know, now that's one thing I've been very, very fortunate in my career. I've got to see a lot of the United States that I probably, you know, well, I know without a doubt I would not have gotten to see had I not been, you know, doing this profession. But there's still so much of it out there where bass live that we've not been as a whole, as professional bass fishing. And I think that would be cool that if we traveled around, like let's just say the next 3 or 4 years, we never go to a place that they've ever visited before, or we never go to a place that they've not visited in the last 20 years. You know what I mean?
It would certainly expand the sport. That's a way to grow.
Yeah,
the sport.
and that would be, you know, other than that, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, I wish it paid more.
Yeah.
But that's just
okay.
greed.
Well, yeah, no, I get
you know what
there.
I mean? Everybody won't. You know what I mean? So it would help professional bass fishing if it paid like the NBA. Huh? It would help me personally. You know what I mean?
I mean, do.
I mean, if we're just gonna make a wish list, I mean, we might as well reach into that kitty, you know, make it a little deeper. But yeah, I would just think like overall, there's just a lot of great places in the United States that have bass. And I'll tell you this, I hate to make long drives. So when I'm driving from my house to Champlain, which is like a world-class fishery without a doubt, but I do in the back of my mind think about how many bass am I driving by to get to Champlain? I'm just using 100%. That as an example.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's so many great, I just drive across a lake or a river and I'm like, wonder what kind of bass lives there. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's a shame that the way the sport is, that there are a lot of small places with great fisheries all over the United States that we will never have the opportunity to visit and to expose to the world, you know, or expose to everyone.
Yeah,
there are a lot of little secret gems all over that, you know, because of, you know, what drives us the almighty dollar.
Yeah. Well, you're going to that Anahahu. That's I mean, you've been there before.
You know what? That's great.
Yeah.
So how about that? We're going to Mo Bridge, South Dakota next year, which, you know, excuse my geography, I didn't know existed.
Yeah, I get you.
And I know that's a great fishery. I know that from, you know, we fished there once before, but we fished so far, that lake is so big and we fished so far on the south. This is all new. You know, it's going to be new to everyone. That's cool. You know, it was cool when we went out there the first time, but those places exist all over the United States, you know, and I would like, you know, that's probably the one thing I would change is travel. Let at least half the season go to new places.
Yeah, that's a good
answer.
Nobody
knows about.
And the preconceived notions are out the door. And again, it's kind of like a test of the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great answer. Excellent answer.
I don't know. I like to go to new places. I like to go to new places anyway, and so I just think that would, but I think the big thing about this is that it would just give an opportunity to expose not only those places, but it would more get a chance to expose what we do to those places. You know what I mean? Like the people to see, you know, hey, the Bassmaster in town. And,
let's go check them out.
It's like the first time we went to the Sabine River. I mean, it just, you know, the Sabine River is it's not the world's greatest fishery, but it is some of the world's greatest people and fans that show up. It's the same thing that makes Waddington, New York. I mean, literally, Waddington, New York has a population of about 250. but there will be 20,000 people at the weigh-in. You know what I mean? Like,
unreal.
Yeah, man.
Unreal.
And there's just a ton of those areas all over the country. That'd be great if we got the opportunity to do that.
Isn't it crazy how big bass fishing is? Isn't it nuts? Like, bass fishing is so big. It's universal, dude. And
it could be a lot more. You know, I think the reason it's not bigger than what it is just a lot of people that never got exposed to it.
Yeah.
It's the only, for me, and like in the outdoor industry in general, COVID has been a great thing for bass fishing.
It has been. It's helped.
I hate to say that.
No, I get it. I get it.
You know, I know it's also been devastating for a lot of people, but
yes,
I guess if there's any positive to it, you know, a lot of people social distance last year with a rod and reel.
A lot of people went fishing. That's the positive.
Yeah, a lot of people went fishing.
100%. Hey, Greg, man, I want to thank you, dude, for all the support you've given myself and these shows over the years, the old Bass Buzz radio show, the Straight Cast show, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man, it's always a blast. I always enjoy it. It's fun.
And man, thank you, dude. And before you go, you got anything you want to say to Ginge, we got to give away the TH Marine Supply prize, right? Gotcha. Okay, so we're giving away the $50 redemption code for the TH Marine, and oh my gosh! So I actually know who this cat is. It's Junior. It's Rockin' Shoal Fantasy. J.R. Ewing won the. He's from Dallas. Remember J.R. Ewing from Dallas?
I do.
Congratulations, Junior or J.R.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he won the.
That's a blast from the past, right?
That's his handle, JR. That's freaking awesome. That's freaking great. So you won the $50 redemption code. Just email or a direct message on Facebook, Straightcast Facebook, JCOS, and tell them you won, and we'll get you the code. So congratulations there. And Greg, we wish you the best of luck in the 2022 season, man. Get that icing. Yeah, get that icing on the cake you're looking for.
And make it thick.
And get out and film that Ned Rig show with Zona and get it over with.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, but so before we go to commercial, let's do a grunge song. And then Ginge is going to take us to commercial with this. And I just need you to do lots of grunts and okay?
Okay.
You can handle that, right, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Yeah.
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 Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's grunge singer Greg Hackney on Straightcast, the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Thank you so much, Greg.
Yeah, man. Thank you. We'll see you.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hey, put the power poles down. It's Polish Pete with Omnia Fishing coming back and the Brevard Prize winner. So don't go anywhere. Coming right back.
As a professional angler, I rely on my equipment to be successful on the water, and my eyewear is no exception. Oh, yep, good one. 6-pounder, 7-pounder. From daylight till dark, every single day of my life, in the truck, on the water. My Amphibia eye gear provide 100% polarized protection. They're ANSI safety rated for impact, and best of all, they float.
Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA. Designed and engineered to be perfect, Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com. All right. Pretty good, pretty neat. Are you ready for some tantalizing tackle talk? Some titillating, tantalizing tackle talk?
I hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Omnia Fishing's Polish Pete Przyspiora. Yes, it's Polish Pete. Hello, sir.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, bud. Welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I've been watching Hackney all night, got me all fired up, and I'm ready to go.
Hackney was amazing, right? I mean,
isn't he though?
Dude, I don't know. Like, I could listen to that dude talk all night. I mean, like, as far as bass fishing stuff goes, it's like,
I mean, there really isn't anybody right now, like Hackney. All my friends, my close circle of friends, which you're included in, it knows this up and down. Like a guy in the modern era that's so like old school in the sense that he finds his own fish, does his own thing, gets off the grid, and he'll spill you just enough to get you better at bass fishing if you listen to him.
But he
He's
still
awesome.
holds it back. He still holds it back.
Yeah, just a little bit.
He does, dude. Every time he skates around shit, he always does.
But what's incredible though is that when he tells you something, it's because it's the truth. He doesn't want to give you that little bit that puts it over the edge. You know what I mean? And it's so fun to watch him because it gives you just enough to go out there and try on your own. Yeah. It's like he's trying to make us all a better fisherman.
100%. You kind of nailed that. And he's smart with his tackle. And just so people know what's up, this is a new segment that Pete's going to come on and kind of talk about tackle and talk about what's going on in the industry and trends and hot baits and what have you. And I'm sorry that your first, that's a real tough act to follow, Greg.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate that. So first time was Denny Brower.
With Seth. Yeah, you were on with Seth and Denny.
Second time's Greg Hackney. So next time, let's do like Clun and Kevin on the same show.
Good company. And Jordan. We'll get Jordan and Cherry.
So Kevin, let's do them all. And then let's have me follow that. That'd be awesome.
That'd be perfect. No, dude, but you've been knocking it out. Omnia Fishing is becoming quite a presence in the e-commerce online stores of bass fishing.
Thank you.
I mean, quite frankly, and no disrespect, in the past few years, on the map, like, boom, Omnia. Yeah, I know Omnia. Okay, and you're kind of like, I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but you're kind of running the tackle shop.
I'm the head of merchandising, so I'm in charge of all those like vendor relationships, like all the bait companies and all that stuff. And I try and make sure when we're adding stuff, it's the stuff that's relevant and new that all of our marketing partners are talking about and all that stuff. But I have a whole team of guys that are way smarter than me. Trust me.
I know them. I know they're way smarter than you.
Trust me, by far and away.
Yeah.
Everybody there is way smarter than me. I'm just a guy that, I get to hang out with John Cox or Seth Fighter or yourself and talk to people in the fishing industry and try and keep us on the path of trying to stay what the anglers are searching for and what they're trying to find. And when everybody says to us, you got so lucky that this all happened during the pandemic when you started this business, everybody's buying fishing stuff. Well, in my position, it's really tough because all this stuff was gone. Yeah. And I'm the new guy on the block and I got to beg and plead and
You kind of, I've made the analogy to you before. I think you and Matt have made some travels together with briefcases full of cash like gangsters to get tackle for people just to have it at the store to supply it. I mean, I'm being serious about that.
No, you're not far from the truth, but it's a real game right now. It's a poker game, and it's every tackle company out there, all the mom and pop tackle shops that I service as a dial rep back in the day and like traveling around the country and all that, they're all killing it. And I'm happy as hell for them. So to try and be the new guy and say like, hey, guess what? We had a killer year. So did everybody else, dude. You're getting in line. So, we're relying on a lot of the technology that we have. And the reason why I left the career job that I had to do this was because of the fact that we got a team of people that I think in the next 3 to 4 years, they'll be, I'm just saying it right now. I believe we'll be at the top of the mountain as far as our service level and what we're able to do and how we're able to help people. I think it's going to be I think we have a really bright future.
Very personal experience at Omnia Fishing. And here's one thing I got to tell you, a lot of dummies say to me, they're like, hey man, I went on that stupid Omnias. I couldn't even find. All they're doing is telling me to shop by the lake. I can't find nothing. And I'm like, listen, dum-dum. I don't even know what kind of impersonation that was. I just did. I have no clue what that was.
That was like half my friends, but yeah, exactly.
that was just generic dum-dum voice. Hello. Yes. But no, that's the number one complaint I get. And I'm being serious. Like people are like, I don't want to shop by lake. I just want to go shopping.
Yeah.
And what do you say to people like that? I know you've heard it too.
Yeah, we have. And that's the feature we have with the shop by lake stuff is literally, and we can all say it, but I will back my own words up down the road with you in a year from now, but it's the tip of the iceberg on how cool that'll be. But, and I think that'll find a home with the hardcore anglers someday when you're traveling around the country looking for tournament information and all that kind of stuff. But right now we have a traditional shopping site. All you have to do on the top of the page there is go into traditional shopping. You can click baits, you can click soft baits, jigs, all that, and you can go see. I am very confident in saying this right now in front of everybody that right now we probably have, I would call it the second best assortment in the entire industry as far as bass fishing goes.
100%. You do.
I think we have the second best assortment, period. And it's growing fast. And I know we're not perfect, but remember, we're legitimately, we're 3 years into this, but we're 2 years in actually being in like retail sales, going for it. We're going fast. We're growing really fast, and we're trying our best. We're getting as much as we can get our hands on with supply chain issues and all that stuff. But, I got to give a nod to our friends over there out in California at Taquera. They are one of the coolest places in the history of the world. I'm a customer of theirs myself.
Of course, we all are.
They have an awesome system, and if you're a hardcore angler, we get how much, because I get it too. But what we're trying to build here is also a way for a lot of people that are out there that are overwhelmed by the selection in a drop shot weight, or overwhelmed in the selection by fluorocarbons, or all this stuff we're going to talk about tonight, all this crazy tackle on how it equates to their life and where they fish and the species they're fishing for. And we're going to get into all these other species as well. So I think we're offering something a little different out there, and I think it's going to be cool. And I'm very proud of it. And I'm proud of the team I work with. And I think you guys are going to be impressed over time.
Yeah,
I do.
Me and me too. I mean that sincerely. And so the people that are maybe saying, "Oh, I don't want to shop by lake," are maybe missing the boat too.
Yeah,
because,
I agree
that's
with
what I like. So for you people that just want to do conventional shopping, you click conventional shopping.
Yes,
at the top of the website. Yep. It's that easy. That's there. Yep. And then if you're going to Champlain, may I suggest that you type in and look at Lake Champlain? See what's happening there.
That's getting cooler by the day. By the way, that side of the things is getting like super cool, legit. I'm a tournament geek. Pat can speak for me. We're friends on the side of all this, and I I live that life too. So I get like,
You're
when
a
you look
derber.
at something and say like, this isn't like my thing. It's coming, and I promise. And it's getting better day by day.
No,
so
it is.
Paying attention to that as you watch, it's getting like cooler and cooler, and the algorithm's working and everything's starting to kick in. But as far as all that stuff goes, for the conventional shopping side of things, for all you derbers out there, as Pat would say, we've got stuff that no one else has got in the United States as well. We're dialed in with a few manufacturers from overseas and some things like that. And our connections are paying dividends, and we've got some stuff too that's, stuff that Gussie's won a tournament on and that you can't get in the States unless you go to our buddies up at Lake of the Woods Tackle Club in Canada.
Yes.
We've got stuff from all over the globe that's really cool, that's unique to us. And if you're into that traditional shopping thing, if you know what you want, you don't want to get a recommendation, I don't blame you. We got what you want too, I promise.
Yeah, 100%, man. You sure do. So, Pete, I got to ask this question. Like people complain that they can't get tackle. Not just I know it's certain products at Omnia, certain products at Tackle Warehouse. If you go to abugarcia.com, if you if you go to Z-Man site, if you go to everyone, Bite Me Tackle, everybody
that's my life, bud. That's my life.
I know it's tough for people sometimes, and it's especially tough for a purchaser like yourself to get tackle. Why? What's the answer? Why is this happening right now?
It's a chain effect right now that's happening. I mean, at first it was just supply versus demand, right? Because as Hackney spoke about earlier, everybody social distanced on the water. Yeah. Everybody went out and went fishing. Everybody went nuts on it. All of a sudden, we're the cool guys. I'm not the guy that's weird that fishes at my family picnic with some relatives that go like, so you fish? Yeah, I fish. You're not the weird guy anymore. Everybody wants to fish. Yeah. Everybody wants to get outside. Everybody wants to do it. So
we got laid so much more in high school.
Yeah, exactly. We would have been way cooler.
Yeah, 100%.
But everybody's like into fishing, so it goes nuts. They wipe out the supply chain, but then container costs go through the roof because of COVID. The ports get down to 30% because they're only importing so much, because the ports on the coast are high population areas. They're dealing with all sorts of restrictions. So they get down to low employment rates. They're really ramping down their ability to service containers coming in. And now you got employment issues at some of the distribution centers for some of the biggest manufacturers, because people are going home and they're obviously like not feeling safe at their workplace. And like, there's all these messy things going on in the world. And it's compounded to the fact that now shipping product in from overseas has been tough. The shining light and all that is it's shown us all something that's really cool. And that's a lot of the tackle industry is not necessarily based overseas. And we've got some in our hometown of the United States of America manufacturers.
Yes. And
they've been overwhelmed because they've got product and they're pushing it out as fast as they can. But I'm sure hoping this teaches us all something over time. And we're able to really think about where we're purchasing our products from, where we're getting it from, where we're importing it from. And things are getting better each day, but I envision the first and second quarter of next year being still a challenge. I still envision it being a challenge. So I'm not just saying it for sales purposes, because trust me,
you're a purchaser. You're a purchaser.
People are buying everything they can buy as fast as they can get it right now. That's not the issue. I'm not worried about selling more product. I'm just telling you, if there's new stuff or colors or things you want, get it in the off season. Get it when everybody's not fishing. If you're
get your fire craw jackhammers in the winter.
If you're a derber, get it now and get it over the winter, because I'm just telling you, I think first and second quarter, I think everything's going to level off in the summer.
Okay.
I think everybody's going to chill out a little bit.
So a year from now, we should be cool.
I think so. I could be way wrong, but I'm just saying, I think that we're going to get a lot more people manufacturing stateside. I think we're going to we got there's a lot of companies that still manufacture their own products. They don't just source it from overseas, and they're moving their manufacturing around to countries that are a lot more friendly with shipping stuff and all that. So I'm hoping that by summertime next year, with everything levels off. But if you're a gerber and you want something cool, don't wait till the spring. Don't hit us up in March and say like, "How do you out of flatworms?"
Yeah. Then they yell at you,
and
they're trying. I don't want to shop by a lake. Hey, so let's talk tackle. What's going on right now? I mean, like, what's happening? What's the trends? What's cool? What's hip? What's catching them?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, it's weird stuff. Like, I've never felt older than I do right now being in this role, because I always thought I was on top of everything always, like because of my circle of friends who are on top of stuff. But these kids show us stuff all the time. These new kids that are fishing, all these high schoolers and everything. But like
gummy worms, wacky Rick gummy worms. Those are good.
But Hackney touched on something earlier that kind of blew my mind. And a friend of ours, Mr. Fighter, had some success on it this year. But I almost completely myself, I will say this quite honestly, I think I went 2 years out of spinnerbait in my boat. Spinnerbaits almost died to me. Like, right, it was a swim jig, a chatterbait, or nothing else.
That chatterbait and swim jig,
If there was grass or cover and I was trying to wind something through it, spinnerbait was dead. And then these little guys came around here. These little Bassmans.
Oh, the ones Carl brought over.
Yeah. Carl Jochmason, our friend from Australia, brought these suckers over. This particular things here is this is Fighter's color here. This is I believe this is the Dirty Shad.
Let me see it.
Hold it up. This is the Dirty Shad.
Oh, look at him. I see what he did.
Yeah. So there's a little it's a different blade. I call it a turtle blade.
Yeah.
But they call it a mag willow. It's like a cross between a Colorado and a willow.
Yeah, it's real similar to like that finesse War Eagle one we throw.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly.
Kind
The
of
War
like
Eagle's
that.
got ones very similar. Mike McClellan's the finesse War Eagle spinnerbaits are very similar.
Classic.
Bassmans, these are hand-built spinnerbaits from Australia.
Nice.
And we've seen all these little finesse spinnerbaits start to cash checks, and it's a different.
Fighter was using it at what? Sabine
when I think he finished third at Sabine and
with Aaron's trailer.
I can't remember. Yeah, exactly. That the spinnerbait's kind of making a new round, and if you remember, Clun when in St. John's there. His spinnerbait had really weird blades on it.
Yeah, I love them.
Like
I've been fishing them.
Blades. Yeah.
Teardrops.
Yeah. So what we're learning is what my hero, which you're well aware of, Al Linder, who I've been very blessed to fish with.
Yes, sir.
Has been telling me for years that he cracks them up how every new generation of fishermen doesn't believe in fish conditioning, no matter what generation he's fished in, and taught people how to fish. Everybody doesn't want to believe in fish conditioning.
Wow, it's like a taboo.
Everybody wants to believe that they're still going to bite a purple spoon trolled behind a boat with a night crawler behind it. And that goes away and they don't bite it anymore. And it changes decade after decade after decade. You got to change. And so we're learning that with a spinnerbait. Switch it up a little bit, compact the size down, put different blades on it. Let's not just throw willow bladed normal spinner baits, the same thing we've thrown for decades and decades and decades. So trying to find that little change up in spinner baits, that's been a cool thing. And we're seeing that just go nuts. We can't get enough of them. I showed that one particular tonight because we just got a shipment. So I'm
nice.
A little bit
they're at Omnia now
on that one. They showed up. They're there. I got one here that'll get back into inventory tomorrow if they run out tonight.
Sure.
So I need to keep your eyes on it. Yeah. The other thing is this phenomenon in that fire crock and stuff,
What the hell?
I didn't believe in it. Right. And you watch some derbs get one down south on it, and we get jackhammers and fire crawling and they just fly out the door. Well, all the plastics manufacturers jumped on it now. So we got the new Z-Man plastics and all the fire crock colors.
Okay.
We've seen all the manufacturers do it. In fact, I've got even one from Berkeley here. This one's not available yet, but it's going to be available soon. But they got some fire crock colors and some new power bait trailer.
You got
jigs.
the power bait skirt.
Yeah. that fire craw color is going to be available in a bunch of plastics and trailers and all that stuff. We've got some of it already on the site, but more of it will be coming in. But if you can't get your hands on any of the highly sought after, like fire craw colored moving baits, you got plastics now for trailers with those colors. That's been really hot. I mean, to some of you out there that are derbers and you go like, yeah, dude, we know, I get it. A lot of those people out there are struggling to get their hands on those products. The prices are insane on like eBay for some of that stuff.
I know.
And
I did it. I got a couple.
I think I know a guy who got you some of those.
Yeah. Well, and then before that, when it was really tough, I think I spent. I don't want to tell you what I spent for 3.
It's a lot. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it's real. It's kind of like what Hackney was talking about with the Ned rig earlier. I hate the Ned rig too, but there's something to the thing. Like they're catching them on it. And if you're a derber and you want to get some fire craw stuff, there's gonna be a lot of plastics. We've got a whole bunch of Z-Man stuff already in those colors and a bunch of manufacturers as well. So you can run some of your traditional colored jigs or moving baits with those as trailers. And you'll have that color if that's really the deal in the spring. I haven't found that to be the case yet, but
I like how you said if that's really the deal.
What I'm trying to say is I've never cashed a check in the spring. I get my head beat in the spring.
Okay.
So apparently I can't see fish very well. But that time of year, the fire craw thing is proven to be real. So if you're into those baits and you're into that color and you're a moving bait guy in the spring, you're pre-spawn killer during those spawn months, jump on some of that.
Makes sense, bud. We've been throwing the red lipless for years and the red crankbait. I mean, why not? Jordan showed us. Jordan Lee showed us.
He did show us.
You know,
so on the note of the chatterbait trailers, like this razor shad here from Z-Man and Fire Craw, this little morsel here.
What's that?
Which that's exactly, I was hoping you'd ask that. So this little thing here is probably, in my opinion, Glizzy. This right here is sneaky stuff just for Stray Cats listeners.
Uh-oh.
And I mean this.
Serious.
This might be the most sought after plastic on the market right now that's not publicly known.
I don't know what it is. I seriously have no clue.
I'm going to tell you. To me, it looks like a Kitech swim bait with the tail cut off.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually called the spunk tail shad.
What?
From Hog Farmer.
From Hog. You can't say that word.
Yeah, I have to say it because it's the name of the bait, Pat.
Okay.
So we have to move on.
Why don't they just call it the skeet tail?
It is literally called the spunk tail shad from Hog Farmer Baits. The Hog Farmer is an interesting fellow. He lives right by Lake Chickamauga.
Yeah,
and he makes the highest quality Alabama rigs on the market. So if you're an Alabama rig guy, we got him at Omnia. They got him at a bunch of retailers. This guy makes the best hand-built stuff on the market.
Wow.
But he makes this little thing, and it looks like – so when I saw this thing, I laughed and said, I'm like a lot of you guys watching this right now. I said, I'll cut the tail off of a Kitech and I'll get the same thing.
Okay.
Not even close. I will challenge any one of your listeners to message me personally and show me a video of this thing. This thing on a chatterbait is I believe Tactical Bassing, I want to say, called this out way before I'm talking about it now. So I got to give them the credit. But I knew about it I'm hoping I knew about it around the same time. Maybe they knew about it way before me, but
they probably
Tactical Bassing popped this out a while ago. This thing dances and swims behind a chatterbait. And the thing I want to point out is behind a chatterbait, you don't want the tail doing more action than the
right. You don't want a counter. No counter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You don't want that. That's why everybody likes those split tail shads.
Yeah.
Fork tail shads behind
that's why I like,
it.
Yeah.
This thing does this crazy dance behind there.
How long is that?
This one's a 5.5. He's got several sizes in it.
Okay.
But this one's the popular one right now.
You got those now? You have them right now?
We have them in stock right now. There's a few colors that are out of stock, and there's not that many of them out there. We're going to get wiped out on them here quick, but I'm just telling you.
It's the old spunker.
It's spunker is a proper name for it. Thank you, Pat.
Spunk.
It's the spunk shad from hog farmer, if you're a hunter with your chatterbait, I'm saying when I go to a spot with a chatterbait in a tournament, I want to throw it at something and get it stuck in it and pop it out and reel it back.
Okay.
If you're hunting around with a chatterbait,
Yeah.
or you're fishing those deep chatterbaits, like
you.
the 3/4 and all that, and trying to fish in deeper water,
that outside shit. Yeah.
This might be the best trail.
I already know what I'm putting it on. Like I already know what I'm doing with that.
Yeah.
I already got this.
If you want to let the head of that thing do the hunting and not the tail make it change its direction, this is the bait for it. It's wild, and it has to be fished to be appreciated. So
I like it.
Check out the spunktail shad.
Spunktail shad, hog farmer.
Yep.
Okay. What else?
All right. Now I'm going to get expensive on you, Pat.
Yes, I like that.
Got to do this.
I'm very bougie.
Got to do it.
I'm super bougie.
I got to bougie it up right now.
Please go.
Have to
do it.
This little bug. Right
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, this is this.
You're importing stuff now.
Yeah, I know. This is some cool stuff. Right
yeah.
Here. This is some like hunt around on YouTube and think what I'm trying to do here. So,
like you're going on a snakehead safari right now.
This thing right here is Nishini Lure Works. This guy has made some of the coolest baits that you've bought from big manufacturers.
In
the past. And he's on his own. He's up in Canada right now. And he's
it's a Canadian bait.
Yeah, this guy goes nuts. He's a Japanese gentleman that moved to the States.
Okay.
He's up in Canada now. And he's making this guy, all he does is just build baits that catch fish. And he builds them in, quantities that are able to get out to the smaller dealers like us, like Omnia right now. We jumped on this thing right now because everything this guy's built's been wild, right? And this thing right here, there's some footage of this thing catching some of the biggest basically think of the Whopper plopper.
Yeah.
And this thing makes more commotion than a Whopper plopper.
Okay.
And yet it's the hookup ratio on it's unbelievable because it's got Ichikawa hooks.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Those will hurt you.
Yeah, no, these are venomous hooks.
Yeah.
Venomous.
Yeah.
I think you get a headache after you get stuck with these things.
Dude, there's something that happens.
They're the sharpest hooks on the market, period. And I know everybody's got their opinions on hooks. Rick Clun, who was mentioned a bunch earlier in the show, has said there's not a harder hook point in the industry than Ichikawa, and I would back him up on that.
100%.
These things are nasty sharp.
Like if they really do. And I was fishing the other day doing a video, Pete, and I had a fish on that new Kong Shad 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I had him on that. Oh, well, you got one there or something? Look at you. Look what you did. That's a good one too. That crappie shad color.
I know.
But so I had him good, like right at the top of the mouth with one hook. And that's a big hook on that. So I was really happy how that happened. Like I was like, okay, I want him there. And then I got the fish in my hand and it threw the bait. It actually threw the bait out of the fish's mouth. Now get this.
Yeah.
As I'm talking to the camera, my bait is just hanging free and the fish barely moves. And if you look at the camera and blow it up, the Ichikawa just like with very little, boom, penetrates right there. And I had to unhook the fish again. That's how sharp they are. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It's something else I was going to relate to later without some new hooks on the market. But Ichikawa right now is, in my opinion, a leader as far as, your durbers out there. If you're just hunting down landing percentage, it's hard to beat Ichikawa.
They've been around 100 years. There's a lot of people don't know.
It's the biz. They make nasty, good, really high-end hooks, like derby hooks.
Yeah.
Like practice is something else. Fish the tournament with Ichikawa.
Yeah, these are samurai steel shit.
Yeah.
For real.
It's worth buying one pack. Get a premium membership from Omnia. It's $30. You get 10% back on all your orders throughout the year, and you get free shipping on no matter what you order all year long. That means one pack of Ichikawa hooks, you get free shipping and it comes to your house.
Hell yeah.
And you're getting 10% back on the order.
What's it cost to be a premium member?
$30.
$30, you said.
For the year.
Gotcha.
So it's like Amazon Prime. just suck it up in the front end. And by the end of the year, you're going to be looking at a bank account for a bunch of tackle, and you're getting free shipping, even if you just need another bag of spunk sheds.
Nice.
Yeah,
Now, I borrow people's Amazon Prime accounts. Can I borrow people's Omnia?
Well, you probably can, but just don't tell me.
Okay, I won't. Sorry,
All
Pete.
right,
Sorry.
All right. But anyway, this thing is a straight up chunk and winder. Throw it out, reel it straight back to you. Like I said, do your own research on this.
Okay.
If any of you are like JDM geeks about this stuff,
Yeah.
we got some at Omnia right now.
I like it.
They're gonna be gone.
And tell me the name one more time, please, of that one.
This is the Abino.
The Beano.
Abino.
Abino.
I'm trying to get a Abino 110, like a Megabass 110.
Yeah, like the 110 size.
And speaking of that, 110 juniors.
Oh,
so
that's the deeper one.
Yeah, this is the +1.
Yeah.
So, being a jerkbait snob,
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
are.
jerkbait snob. Interested.
Allegheny bone.
I just got some Stunnas, which our friend from that won the class.
Somebody
I
wanted
just
dirt
got
on
some.
those.
Yeah. I haven't thrown it yet, but I just got some, so I'm gonna. But I'm a jerkbait snob, and the original juniors in the Megabass Vision series, I wasn't that impressed with. I'm a 110 guy, a 110 +1, a 110 +2 guy.
Okay.
And I like a couple of the duo jerkbaits, and there's an old school Lucky Craft one I like.
Yeah.
I even like a Rogue if there's no wind and the wind's blowing 30 miles behind me into a cast. But this little gem right here, we have not been able to keep these in stock since they came out. This thing is only 3/8 of an ounce, but it's got that weight transfer in it.
Throws.
And it darts.
Yeah.
Like the big ones do.
100%.
So if you're a smallmouth guy, a spotted bass fisherman, if you're fishing bodies of water with little tiny bass in them, this is the business. This like a limit getter, like you fish places that you need to get a limit. I'm not kidding you. There's something behind this thing, because as fast as we get them, they go.
That's the
and
deal.
I mean that.
What's the hot color? What's the hot color jerk bait?
Honestly, I was kind of a jerk because I pulled some inventory for this video, and I took this one, and it's not going back.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if they're gone tomorrow, but I got this one, so too bad. A leggy bone.
Oh, everybody loves that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the chartreuse belly. It's kind of got like a purplish back and like a translucent side. Really killer smallmouth color. Fish it really fast. And smallmouth just.
What if it was called spunk bone?
Yeah, it was called spunk bone. It'd sell even better. All right, back to something we talked about earlier that I want to touch on real quick.
What you got, Pete?
Is hooks.
Yes.
Terminal tackle is not that sexy, obviously. Everybody's got their confidence things, and that's what you should do is fish your confidence. It's kind of like knots.
100%.
If you got a knot that don't break, if a knot don't break for you, don't tie a different knot. Don't be an idiot. Gerald Swindle gave us that little bit of knowledge a few years back, and I've lived by it, and it's helped me out a lot because I tied different knots every year I was alive, and I tie one now that don't break.
Okay.
But anyway, this hook right here is hard to see in the camera here, but this is the Ichikawa.
Yeah, that's the flipper.
The TS3 flipper.
Yeah.
Now, what I want you guys to know about this hook is something very, it's hard to see in the camera angle there.
You can actually see it very well in my
Yeah,
monitor.
it's a nasty bend in this thing.
Yeah, it's a kinked hook. It's bent. Is that broke?
It's a nasty offset. This is not just a flipping hook.
Okay.
I've been flip shotting with this and even drop shotting with this. And I'm telling you, from a guy that struggles with his hook set sometimes, like, you know, if I'm flipping, I got a pretty decent hook set, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm using moving baits or drop shot or spinning tackle stuff, sometimes I, you know, depending on where I got the rod placed or how my line's bowed or there's slack in the line, it's like hard to know. What do I crack them or what do I do? Or
okay.
I reel up on them. Do I smack them?
Which direction?
If you have those issues like I do, when you got like some wind and you're fishing finesse tackle, this thing is a weapon.
Dude,
you should have to get a license with this.
I agree. It helps eliminate those margins of error. You know what I mean?
If you tighten your line up, that fish is
It
screwed.
sticks 'em. Dude.
It nails them.
Like,
they can't come out of their mouth.
If you have that in the 5/0 size, I want to tell people.
Yeah,
they seem to run a little small.
They do. They do.
In
Good
my
call.
opinion.
Good call.
So if you're gonna order the Ichikawas, which I highly recommend, get the 5/0 size. Get yourselves 5s and 4s, and those are perfect for like your creature hogs, your beaver types, your chigger craws. But what you're talking about, Pete, is people can go like a little downsize in the line.
You can go one
size
one,
even the size 1. They're like the OG Japanese drop shot hooks, bro.
They are. And I'm telling you, if you're those people that fish like Great Lake stuff, or you fish wind-blown reservoirs or rivers or anything where you get like that gutted wind that comes down it and you got a bow in your line, no matter how you're trying to fish, these things are all it is reel it into them type hook.
Yeah.
Because the offset's so nasty on this hook. Like if they bit it,
Well, you know who does that, and I forgot to talk to him about it, but Hackney does that to his hooks.
Does he bend them out?
He does. Yeah, he bends them out. It's just a little trick, man. Like
I will be honest, because I fish my home lake's Lake Minnetonka, and I fish a lot of coontail in the summer and milfoil offshore, things like that. But coontail in particular, because that offset's so aggressive and it's off to the side that point, it grabs a lot of grass more than a traditional just straight hook would on a Texas rig.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you right now, like if a fish slacked your line or you had a bow in your line, whatever, you guys all know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
When like, we don't always Hackney it and go like that fish, there's a fish within a foot of this thing is about to bite it.
And then we don't go.
Him. Yeah. But you just start reeling and all of a sudden you got this sucker lined up. You got him caught and you got him. And it's pretty impressive how much the hookup ratio is on this hook. It's unbelievable.
I love them.
Yeah, that hook is a 10 out of 10.
And a true story you'll see on a future episode of the Adventures of the Proper Bass and Men. An Ichikawa hook makes Matt Robertson cry.
Well, I believe it because the thing's nasty.
It's a true story.
All right. Now, one other thing I want to talk about was I'm going to get into some new stuff that we haven't got in stock yet that's coming.
Are you teasing us?
Yes, I am going to tease you with some stuff that's coming. It's on its way. But I wanted to talk about one thing before I get into that, and that was trends in the fishing industry. That was kind of one of the topics we talked about. And one of the biggest trends was, I had no idea you guys are getting into this tonight, but spinning rod fishing,
Hackney loves them.
Angler, Hackney loves them.
Yeah. See what I did to him, Pete? Yeah. Like I was giving him like all his spinning rod victory herbs.
I love what you did. It's a touchy subject to a lot of anglers because they don't do it a lot, right? They do it because they have to do it. And something me and you can talk candidly right now because you know this, gentlemen, but I claim, and I still stand by it, that I taught all my friends to start fishing with larger spinning reels, including Seth Fighter, Josh Douglas, a lot of the Daiwa Pro staff. I was fighting for that for a long time. Most of them call me a liar. You be the judge. So some people think Seth invented this. I will argue with Seth to this day that I invented this. But
okay.
I'm holding in my hands right now a Shimano Vanford in a 4,000.
The 4,000 size.
Yeah, 4,000 size. We have these in stock right now, but I'm a big Daiwa guy myself. I've just been flirting around with some of the other brands and stuff. I know Garcia's got a lot of 30 size reels that are in the same size range of line day. Well, something I'm going to caution you on is you can't go off the manufacturer size for spool diameter because everybody is not held to some sort of standard.
Right.
So
There's
you physically have to pick up the reels and see yourself how big the spool diameter is.
There's no Food and Drug Administration for spinning reel spool sizes.
Exactly. But back in the day when we all ran 2500s, which was the normal size for a bass fisherman to run, and a walleye guy or a panfish guy ran a 2,000 or a 1,000 because it's all based off your line size.
Yes.
A 4,000 size spinning reel by today's standards weighs less than the 2,500 you grew up fishing, but yet it picks up 3 times the line. It's got a smoother drag. You have half the line issues that you had with that little
less
spinning reel.
twist, 100% on anything.
Less freaking memory. There's all sorts of problems.
Fluid casting, more coming off the spool.
The biggest thing I want to talk about is the speed to it.
Okay.
When I turn this handle on this, I'm keeping that rod bent over. So similar to what you're used to with a bait caster, when I set the hook on a bait caster, we're taught as bass fishermen, you set the hook and that bait caster's one job is to make sure that rod stays bent over.
Yeah.
I crack that guy and I want that rod bent over.
Yeah.
Because the minute I slack that rod out
and keep
that rod tip
keep it on
up.
Yeah.
He's got the advantage on me. He can shake his head and throw that hook because I don't have that hook point pointing at me anymore. The minute he straightens my rod back out. So I'm cranking like a madman. So you see all these bass guys on TV set the hook and they're cranking like a madman to try and keep that rod boat over. For some reason in spinning rods, we all thought like you set the hook and you just slowly fight them. You just slowly fight them. Well, now these guys are using spinning rod techniques and catching giant smallmouth, big freaking giant.
We just saw it, in the elites. My goodness,
yeah, exactly.
Wearing them down,
piles.
bro. Wearing them down.
Yeah. They stick one in a brush pile on an eco rig, and it's a 7-pound largemouth. Good luck if you're going to sit there and back reel, or you're going to do some old school stuff and play them out. These big 4,000s, I can turn this handle once or twice, and I keep my rod tip pinned to that guy, and I got that hook pointing back at me.
Okay.
So the advantage.
That's a 4,000 Shimano size?
This one right here is a 4,000 Shimano Vanford.
Okay.
And I'm telling you right now, it weighs ounces less than a 5-year-old. 5 years ago, 25,
like an old Stratic or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this, because I'm just out of curiosity purpose to apply this to my own knowledge. I'm an Abu guy. I'm with Abu Garcia.
Sure.
Would the 30 size spool, is that smaller or is that bigger than your 40?
The Abu 30's spool diameter is close to the 4,000 Shimano. Daiwa's got a little bit more diameter there in that 4,000, but very similar. Their body size of the reel makes a big difference too. But that really the big deal is that diameter of that spool on the top. When you look at the top of the spool, that drag cap right on the top.
Yeah.
That's what you want to look at.
Okay.
The biggest you're comfortable with balancing out your rod without getting too heavy and you feel like you hate fishing with the thing is the best. Because every time that rotor spins around when you spin that handle, it's adding way more line the bigger your spool is.
You know who else does that too is KVD. KVD's done it for years. Like he had saltwater reels and shit on
it. It's actually not it's not uncommon with tournament anglers now, but it's a lot of anglers to this day. I'm still working in retail now that I'm at Omnia. It's amazing to see. And I have manufacturers come in, sales guys look at me and go, we got to get these reels smaller and lighter. The braids are so thin. And I'm like, you don't get it, bud.
Right.
The smaller you make that reel, the more line twists you get, the slower the reel is. And now you're more finessey fishing all the time.
It's fine with crappie.
Exactly. That's not the case with a largemouth.
You're not trying to put a big bucket head or a mean brown one in the boat.
I'm saying for derbers here, if you're a derber and you want to get the fish in the boat and you want to keep that hook point pointing towards you and not slacked out and getting thrown out.
Keep them coming at you.
Keep them coming at you.
Yeah, that's what Clun says. Keep them coming at you.
Exactly. And that's what a 4,000 size spinning reel will do.
Nice
for
tip,
you.
Pete. I like that.
So that's my advice for any of you derbers out there. Couple things I want to show you before I go, and that is definitely some new Berkley stuff that
what you got?
We have coming right now, and that's I touched on them earlier. It's the new Berkley power bait jigs. They've got flipping models. They've got finesse jig models.
Okay.
They've got football jigs. They've got swim jigs, and we have all these coming on. And the skirts are made of power bait, so you're going to get that added grab hold kind of feature you get out of power bait out of that.
Look out.
Another thing I want to talk about was this guy right here. The reason why I brought this one out actually was I got to spend the day yesterday in the boat with a friend of Pat's here at the show.
Who's
And the
that?
Ginger Ninjas. That's John Cox.
Oh, Johnny. He's a handyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Cox is a handyman.
Yeah.
He bass fishes on the side a little bit.
Yeah.
He once in a while fishes tournaments. Like, I don't know.
Did he say anything bad about me?
Like he didn't. But like John gets like he gets a weekend off or something like that from work, and he fishes a tournament like once a month or something like that. And he likes to feed. But this guy, honestly, in all honesty about John Cox, this dude fishes every day of his life. I've never been in a boat with somebody who enjoys just catching bass more than John Cox. Made me recognize some stuff about myself as a bass fisherman. But this is the Berkeley Gilly.
I see it. Yeah. That's Mike's bait. Yeah.
Yeah. This thing won the best of show at ICAST.
It sure did. It's a flexible kitten too, isn't it?
Truth be told, I'm being kind of a jerk right now, but it's late. I've had a couple of tin cups.
Yeah.
I did not care about this thing at all.
Okay.
I doubt this thing was like another bluegill bait that I bought 1,000 of, and I don't catch bass.
You got suckered on them before.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
This thing is actually legit.
I know.
It's John can hand feed these to his bass, but he said they'll bite his fingers too. So don't take that.
He feeds them pizza.
Yeah. But this thing is wild as hell.
Yeah, dude.
You can put like a 4, 5, 6/0 hook in this thing and throw it weightless, and you can like swim it back to the boat, and it like swims back to you.
And it swims like that, like on its.
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay.
This thing is wild, realistic, and I'm telling you, there's going to be scenarios when this thing's going to be one of those things where if you don't have it in your boat, you're going to be mad at yourself.
Yeah. Like running it through shallow pads and stuff,
exactly.
bro.
Like there's a bunch of scenarios that came up when we were playing with him on the water the other day.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh my God.
Like say you're through an area and throwing a chatterbait and it kind of shuts down a minute or something. You know, you can come back with that thing, dude.
Yeah.
Roll
it's
through.
What I have to say about this to all you serious tackle nerds out there, which I'll try and lump myself in with you guys. I have been for a long time.
Of course
I have baits in my garage that cost as much as my boat probably. This is the stuff you get out of like super expensive Japanese
It
stuff.
is, dude.
Like I'm talking like
Berkeley did good.
$400 like hand carved stuff to get the kind of stuff you're getting out of this thing. Like it'll have its time and place for durbers, but like fun fishermen and stuff, if you're out like looking for the tanker of the day, like this thing is dumb. It's dumb.
It's sexy. It's sexy AF. There's no doubt about it.
It's the real deal.
Look, that's the Berkeley Gilly, and
Berkeley Gilly,
Mike and Ellie helped design that thing, and check it out. I think there's cool stuff on Mike's page about it. I know I saw some stuff on Berkeley. Mercer's got some cool stuff on it. I know you guys are doing some stuff on it. It's a neat bait. Brad just sent me some. Brad Rutherford from Berkeley, and I'm looking forward to trying them out. You know,
they're awesome, and Berkeley's been really good to us. They've had their issues like every other manufacturer we got with supply chain stuff. So keep an eye out. At Omnia, we always have the option where you can click on that notify me when the baits show up. It's burned us with the flat worms, to be honest with you, because we get like 200 to 300 bags at a time, and they go. Last time the guys had a bet. I was actually out of the office. I didn't get to be a part of it, but the bet got up to like $50 on like the timing.
Dude, people
on it.
get stupid on those. They
and
get wild.
It like Jacob, one of our buyers, bet a half hour. And everybody else bet like a day and a half, like something along those lines. 28 minutes, 230 bags of flatworms last.
Unreal.
So kudos to Berkeley for making good baits, but once we level up the supply chain stuff, but that's one advantage to Omnia. You can click that notify me next to the bait that you want. Just go on there, find the variant you want, the size and the color. You can click notify me, and we'll literally email you before they even hit our shelves. They don't even go into our bins. And you get an email, and if you want to buy it right then, we literally walk it right over to to the shipping department. They ship it out to you. So
that's freaking insane. That's awesome, dude. It's a
Yeah.
cool feature. Omnia is coming
it
along,
is.
bro. It really is.
We're trying, bud.
Yeah, you guys are pretty cool. I mean, it's like a cool tackle shop. You know what I mean?
We're trying. It's going well. We've been lucky, but we have our challenges, and we're growing. And I'm really happy I'm in the fishing industry because it's cool to have friends like you and people that recognize this. And see
Bassing's just awesome. I don't know what I'd do without Bassing. You know?
Me too.
Hey, check this
Me
out.
too.
Check this out, Bass Galaxy.
Yeah.
So, what Pete's doing, what Omni is doing, what Seth Fighter is doing, is they're giving you, bass fishermen, fisher people, the opportunity to take yourself and a buddy shopping at Omnia and get $10K worth of stuff. So you get to go shopping with your buddy and Seth Fighter. They tie and duct tape Pete in a chair so he doesn't get out of line.
Probably.
And then you guys go in and you go shopping with Fighter and you get $10K worth of stuff. How do you do that? How easy is it to win that?
Yeah, literally, you can go to our website, scroll to the bottom, go to the Shop with Seth page, and you'll see a little block there with that on there. Click on it, and you just enter your email. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to buy anything or anything like that. But you basically create an account at Omnia and
shopwithseth.com.
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 And you can go fishing with Seth Fighter. Pat, I got.
Oh wait, you get to go fishing with him too?
No, I'm gonna say you can go fishing with him.
Wait, let's volunteer him for lots of stuff. All right, first we're gonna have Seth's gonna clean your garage.
He's gonna clean my garage.
Yes.
Going fishing.
No, not your garage. The winner's garage. No, your garage.
My garage.
Okay,
yeah,
your garage. Clean your boat too.
Yeah. I hope he cleans my boat.
Seth is a great guide. Seth likes guiding, so let's put him on 3 guide trips, 3 Omnia guide trips.
Yeah, he loves guiding. He loves it.
And he likes blood and guts.
Yeah,
like let's send him to haunted houses where people are getting that kind of stuff. Let's make him work in the emergency room for an evening. But anyway,
hey Pat,
I'm sorry. Yes.
Pat, you know what I
got
wanted
out
to
of
show?
line. I don't know what I'm doing. But
you know what I wanted to show earlier? You know what I was really proud of?
Pete, you went another place. You went
I did.
You went away for a minute. You were like, "Oh, hey Pat." Okay,
yeah.
Here I am. Hi, Pete.
Hi. So when Hackney was on earlier, I was losing my mind because I got to have some cool meetings with the people at Rather, who's one of Hackney's sponsors with Strike King and Lose, and they sent me before they're even on the market. So I've been playing around with this thing. It's the Hackney frog rod.
Oh, dude.
So we got a bunch of these on the way, but like I wanted to talk to him about it so bad earlier because this thing is nasty. It's a cool rod.
It's like a fast tip deal with a bunch of backbone kind of Hackney tip.
It's only 7.3. You can work a walking frog. You can throw a pad frog. It's a pretty cool deal. I think Hackney did a good job with this frog rod.
Yeah, dude. And seriously, Hackney has refined. He's one of those anglers that we've seen through history that has really refined his tackle system, you know. And we're starting, I mean, and that happens to anglers as they progress. And I mean, all kidding aside, we're starting to see it with our friend Seth right now. He's really,
we are.
He's really refining his weapons of choice, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You see that happen as anglers progress.
You're correct. He's shown me a lot, and I hate admitting that, but he has taught me immense amounts of stuff over the years.
Dude, this is fun. I like this. This tantalizing tackle talk with Pistol Pete Prispiora from Omnia. That's a long title.
I hope your listeners send you messages and want to hear about like new stuff that's out, even stuff that we don't have. So I get to learn about, tell you things about tactics or techniques they want to learn about or anything like that. Because if I know it, I'll tell you about it. And if I can find the baits, I'll show them to you. And if I got them, I'll tell you about them. So,
I really like that spunk tailer. I know.
Thing's nuts.
Omnia Fishing's got the spunk tail shad right now. Check that out. Try and put it behind a chatter chicken and your favorite chatter bait, whatever. Check out omniafishing.com. Also, hit the what do you call that? The follow button on Omnia Fishing Instagram. You're on the tickety talkities. You're on the book face. You're on the twatters.
We have a gem of a TikTok with John Cox on there right now.
Oh, you?
That's not getting its credit. So you got to go.
What is he doing? Is he doing handstands and shit?
He's just holding up the general and he tells you what it's about.
All right. So check out Omnia on the TikTok and of course shopwithseth.com. And and every week you get to see a little bit Omnia fishing here on Straycast and now once let's have you want to come on like once a month or something, Pete? You want to do this like
as much as you guys need me at once a month?
All right, well let's do it 3 times a day. Three times a day from now on.
Good.
You cool with that, Ginge? 3 times a day, Pistol Pete comes on and we talk tackle. I'd be okay with it because we do it all day anyway.
Let's let the Straycast listeners call it if they want to hear some more stuff, they want to find out some stuff, if they want to put you on the hunt to find out some cool stuff or chase down baits. I'd love the challenge.
Nice.
We're up for it. We're up for it at Omnia.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to figure something out where I want to let the viewers name the segment.
Yeah,
I want to have them like maybe you could help us at Omnia too, and we could all get together and like come up with a name the segment for Pistol Pete.
Right now.
Yeah, in Omnia. I don't know. We'll call it something. Hey Pete, I got to give something away. What do you think? Holy cow! It's 10 o'clock, something. Peter. This is a marathon show. I think we're off next week, so this is I'm making up for lost ground. You know what I mean? That hasn't happened yet. But anyway, I'm ahead of the game. No matter how I look at it, it's 6 5 half dozen of the other. It's a catch 44, and I never look a gift horn in the mouth. So, are you ready for the winner?
Yes.
Of the Bravarni swim jig giveaway? You like the Bravarnis?
Good swim jig section.
Oh God, Danny Bravarni's something else. This guy's a maniac.
A lot of people won a lot of money on that jig.
They sure do. Yeah, 100%. It's BravarniBaits.com. And the winner of the Bravarni Swim Jig Giveaway Pack is
Carl?
I'm not really frozen. No, I'm waiting for the thing. Jen, did you fall asleep? Oh, there he is.
That got awkward.
Ginge was going. The winner of the Bravarni Swim Jig Pack is Dylan. Dylan, what? How do I say this? Hignite. Dylan Hignite. Dylan Hignite, you won a Bravarni Swim Jig Pack. So direct message Jay Kaz on the Straycast book face, and Dan Bravarni's going to send you out some swim jigs. What do you think about that? So, hey, thanks, Pete. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
Freaking cool.
Thanks for having me.
And I'll see you next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be in we'll be at Omnia. We're going to do a little celebration for our friend Seth, and I'm looking forward to seeing you, my friend.
Hey, you want to go fishing? Do you have time to go fishing? Should I bring the boat?
Here's the thing is if you show up and say like I said that or like you were planning on it, then my bosses kind of have to let me go.
Should I call Matt? Yeah, I'll just we can
just
make this happen.
Just walk in and say I thought we were going fishing.
Hey, what's up? I brought the boat all the way here. What are you talking about? I towed the boat all the way from Indiana.
I towed the boat here. Yeah,
towed it from me. I towed it all the way from Chicago. What the heck? Hey, thank you so much to you, Pete, and Omnia for the support of Straycast.
Yeah, we dig you guys. You guys are your people are our people. We like it.
Thanks, man. And we're proud that we are the number 32 podcast in the nation right now behind Spunking for Earthworms. Yeah.
Yes.
Spunking for Earthworms is still beating us, but we're doing good. And we thank you for your support, Pete. And follow Polish Pete on the Instagram, too, as well. And, of course, Omnia Fishing. Pete, thank you so much, kind sir. Give it up for
Thank you, boys.
Pistol
Have
Pete.
a good night.
There it is. Peace, bud.
Take care,
fun.
buddy.
That's a fun show, guys. Marathon show. 3 hours. I hope you're enjoying this on the iTunes. If you're listening on the iTunes tomorrow, let's pretend tomorrow is today and today is tomorrow, and you're listening right now on the iTunes. Larry Kyleman's downloading that on all platforms, Spotify and the Bean Potter, the Podbean, the Buzzsprouter, and, of course, the iTunes. Wherever you listen to podcasts, that's the place to find Straycast. Hey, I'm Pat Renwick. Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja. Amazing job tonight, Ginge, producing the heck out of this 3-hour marathon show. Thank you so much to Crestliner Boats. Ordered my MX-19 this week. Yes, sir. I got it blacked out. I got it blacked out like a bandito. Thanks, Omnia Fishing. Thanks, Tin Cup Whiskey. Word of the week was bait. I'll bet y'all are buzzed up by now. Power Pull, thanks for allowing us to power pull down for pleasure. Sims, you make me look amazing. Thank you for your cool clothes. Patterson, you're amazing. thmarinesupplies.com. Shanna, thanks for the giveaway tonight. Empire Covers, don't forget to put in Stray 60. Gets you 60% off. All covers, bass boat covers, car covers, whatever you need. Half a Spot Official, go to the app, sign up right now, and compete against Straycast in the month of August. Abu Garcia and Berkeley, thank you so much for the support all the years. The Line and Lure family and Bowda Stern, Alpha Angler Fishing, Jake Boomer, best of luck to you tomorrow in the derb. You're sleepy dreamies right now. Amphibia Eye Gear, we throw shade with you. Dakota Lithium, Bite Me Tackle, War Eagle Spinner Baits, Outcast Tackle, Slicks, Rod Covers, Fighter Jigs, and of course, Dan Bervarni. Thank you so much for the Bervarni Jigs giveaway. I'm Pat Renwick, the Ginger Ninja. We bid you peace, and we bid you. We won't see you next week. Maybe we'll see you the week after. I don't know. We might take 2 weeks off. We don't know what we're doing, but we'll let you know. Hey, take care. See you then or see you on another time. Boom.